is called Hosanna. Great things ahead on a very great day indeed. Broadcasting live from Adabraka here in Accra. Thank you so much for staying with us on the Citi Breakfast Show. And this one is just remembering our great friend Kofi Anto Koda. It says, blessed are they who die in the Lord. Their works will live after them.
Who is this king of law?
Their works will live after them. So the question is, when you leave that position, what are you taking with you? You know, some people leave office and they want to carry the car, they want to carry other things. But the most important thing is your works. It says, sell your goods, give to the poor, so you will have riches in heaven. So there's always an afterlife beyond what
show. The city's biggest conversation.
We understand the excitement and preparations that comes when your child gains admission into senior high school. But we at the Agricultural Development Bank, ADB PLC, also understand the financial burden this comes with. The chopbox, trunk, school mattress, you name it. That's why we have partnered with Prospectus Ghana Limited to offer financial support for parents by introducing the ADB Quick Purchase. With a smart loan of up to 20,000 Ghana cedis, you can pick up all the items on your child's prospectus for school. ADB PLC offers you a repayment plan of 12 months to relieve you of all that heavy financial burden. Every ADB customer who receives their salaries through the bank, military and police personnel, and all other workers on the Controller and Accountant General's payroll qualify for this facility. Walk into any ADB branch nationwide or any Prospectus Ghana Limited office near you to apply for the ADB Quick Purchase. Terms and conditions apply. ADB, the People's Bank. ADB, truly a Greek and more.
Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CitiCBS.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Unleashing the power of relevant radio. This is Citi 97.3.
It's a celebration. Celebrate good times. Come on. Let's celebrate. There's a party going on right here.
So it's 6:35, 22nd day of August. Thank you for staying with us on Citi. My name is Bernard Avle. I'm here with Nathan Kwao and Caleb Kuda. We're jumping into the newspaper review shortly. It's an interactive morning drive. We want to hear from you. Send us a voice note. What's bothering you? What's making you happy?
Celebrate. Have a good time. Yeah, yeah.
054-998-6996. Those are the magic numbers.
Gonna celebrate.
We're on Twitter at Citi973. Hashtag CityCBS.
Time to come.
Politics gets interesting. Climate weather issues. Cocoa syndication. All of that and more. And the big one is happening. This is Ghana, 31st of August and the 1st of September. It's a 2-day fair and exhibition with conferences at the AMA forecourt with lots of made in Ghana. We're waiting for the day you can stock up a whole house with things made here. Value addition is the real key to business growth.
Come on now.
And there's so many businesses coming to exhibit different things. Solar things, cars, EVs, different foods and drinks, clothes, apparel, shoes, gadgets, agricultural machinery, research institutions to display what Ghana is made of. Ghana is not just the things we say, but also the things we do. Companies creating value, using innovative ways in the cosmetics industry. In all kinds of sectors, there are great Ghanaian companies doing phenomenal things. So come and see.
Come on now.
They call it Krabeshe. Come and see for yourself.
All celebrate and have a good time.
Come with the family. Lots to eat, lots to see, lots to do. Tell you more about that shortly. Good morning, Caleb. Good morning, Nathan.
Hello.
Good morning, Bernard.
The week is gradually coming to a conclusion.
Oh, yes.
I tell you, and we love Thursday because it reminds us of Friday.
Thank you.
Which heralds Saturday.
Thank you.
Which comes before Sunday.
Come on.
Before Monday comes again.
Charlie, that's it.
It's funny, eh? It's interesting. Anyway, so what are people saying today?
Well, the daily graphic is here. It says Cocoa Board breaks 32-year loan cycle.
All right.
Buys 2024-25 season cocoa with own funds. We'll get into the papers and find out if that is the true story.
That's the true story.
Well, Get Fund
with an asterisk.
With an asterisk. Get Fund completes over 3,000 projects.
Nice.
Deterioration of petroleum revenue funded projects worrying. That's coming from Nana Kweku Day. And on the matter of drought, 1.18 billion cedi agri investment in danger.
Hey, Chronicle newspaper. Bono grabs 99 drip machines and the $3 million African Games cash controversy. GBC boss fires, minister responds. Will Professor Al Hassan hit back again? That's a big question here. And Napo touts credentials of Baumia Ahafo Ano North PC, and then also Malcolm Mons, late Godwin Avenogbo, and then Tonto Krum Asanko Gold Ampas will be solved. This is George Meko Duka, Deputy Minister for Lands and Natural Resources.
The Daily Guide says Kolebu reopens outpatient dialysis units. That's on page 6. But the paper's biggest story says IGP dispels militia training rumors.
Right.
95 NDC members in Ashanti defect to MPP. Ghana, Sri Lanka boosts ties, and Baumia engages media on Sunday.
Very big one on the Ghanaian Times. Worrying indeed. Torrential rains, Pamel Boko, ravage over 20 communities, raise numerous farmlands. Devastating photographs from Boko along the White Volta and Zebilla. But other stories: don't declare results of December 7 polls. Peace Council cautions media, and dialysis services now available at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital.
The Anchor newspaper says MP initiates another ambitious project for Takwa. Rallies for construction of airport after TNA Stadium success. Government committed to resolving Asanko Tontokrom dispute, but residents insist no community mining, no vote.
Okay.
Of course, the Anchor is 3-4 days late. They are talking about Frederick Loco winning the literacy challenge, but it's still here. Better late than never, though. Baumia to scatter NDC manifesto launch, engages media on Sunday.
Right.
And husband abandons wife at hospital for delivering triplets.
Okay. Oh, that's a sad one.
We'll get
Daybreak newspaper. Blogger jailed for publishing false news. And Baumia commissions Achansi District Hospital. Elections 2024. Cynthia Morrison goes independent. That's the MP for Agona West. Cynthia Mamle Morrison. And coming up, Sebastian Assem Casilda faces behind Roman Rage, Laboni, Cantonman's land grab. Okay, this has been coming up in a while.
Yeah, it's like a question. Later on, I'll get into this one.
Yeah,
Let's come to the Daily Post.
The Daily Post is saying security expert backs NDC's condition for 2024 peace accord.
All right.
COCOBOD isn't borrowing from foreign banks because it's not credit worthy. That's coming in from the minority in parliament.
All right.
In Africa Games, Money Brouhaha, somebody is not being honest with the public. That's according to Samuel
The
George.
new finder is the final one from me. Balalhi. Landfill threatens water security at Wuvoguma. We'll get into the details of that.
You're struggling with the names.
Yeah, these are new ones to me.
What else is there?
But the Agric Ministry is to train 200,000 youths to be engaged in PFJ 2.0 program. Invest in robotics to bridge academia industry gap. These
All right.
are the stories.
Let me take you online. Channel 1 News. Majority of our services run at a loss. Kolebu CEO on the point of view. He also says, petition against my tenure extension bizarre.
Okay.
In other headlines, COCOBOD shift to self-financing due to in rejection of 1.5 billion loan. Minority says this. And then Trafigura $134 million judgment debt against Ghana. Not new. Attorney General says this.
Yep.
There's another interesting story from Nigeria where their citizens are outraged by the president's new plane.
Hey!
Yeah, we'll give you details of that.
Oga Tinubu.
Yeah, so that story is coming. If you go to citinewsroom.com, VAT on electricity, government to prioritize tax compliance, reducing efficiencies. Abeno Seasari is speaking. There's a new chairman of TUC, Bernard Owusu.
Yeah, man.
Joshua Ansah replaces Yaoba as Secretary General. We'll give you details of these new people. And then PIAC goes after 18 teachers, or PAC rather, goes after 18 teachers for illegally withdrawing 188,000 CDs with fake certificates.
Wow.
188,000 CDs with fake certificates. In other headlines, election 2024, sign peace pact of Puni Frimpong appeals to Asiedu Nketia. And then Nana Akwaku-Sapon tells Napo, you have my blessing. This is in relation to election 2024. And look at this one too. Bust pursues 44 OMCs over unpaid 60 million CD levies. All kinds of things happening in our blessed republic. If you go to myjoyonline.com, Trafigura judgment, Attorney General says no arbitration loss under his watch. Also, Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Lecture, African Parliament blamed for democratic failings, African parliaments. And then, this is a very, very sad story. Ghana National Fire Service rescues man who attempted suicide over inability to pay medical bills.
Hey.
Yeah. And then Bryce Simmons has an interesting article on what Ghana's latest judgment debt says about accountability. Everywhere else, it's the Democratic Convention.
Yes.
Tim Walz,
Yes.
her SEP's VP nomination, tells Democrats we're not going back.
Okay.
Oprah Winfrey
Also there.
makes a surprise entry into the convention where she tells voters to choose truth. Apparently, and there's a very interesting one the BBC has done. They are fact-checking claims about Tim Walz's military record. In fact, if you go to some websites globally, there's a lot of stories. For example, DW this morning, misinformation targeting Democratic VP candidate Tim Walz. All right, so there's a lot of media houses trying to check because all kinds of things are being said over different people. Let's start with COCOBOD.
Well, COCOBOD is here on the front page of the Daily Graphic and also
Yeah.
on page 6 of the Daily Post and on some of the portals.
Yes.
The Daily Graphic says that in a historic shift from the norm, the Ghana COCOBOD has stated that it will not be raising the annual syndicated loan to finance the purchase of cocoa beans for the 2024-2025 crop season, which begins on the 1st of September. Now, it's the first time in 32 years that the cocoa sector manager and regulator will be self-financing its major operation, breaking away from the reliance of a syndicated loan. Now, in a press conference held in Accra on Tuesday, the CEO was there, Joseph Boahi Edu. Now, if you go to another heading in the paper, it says $150 million savings, but this is where the crux is. It says, Mr. Edu said the decision not to access the loan this year would save the board about $150 million, which it would have paid as interest on the loans in addition to expenses to be incurred to organize a roadshow. Following the country's debt restructuring activities and some global developments, interest on the cocoa syndicated loan went up last year
Too high.
to over 8%,
So-
the highest in decades.
Yes.
Okay, now he says, quote, this year we're planning to raise $1.5 billion. Looking at interest rates last year, which was over 8%, or which were the rates were over 8%. Another
And this is
cost.
dollar loan.
Dollar loan.
8%.
It means we can save about $150 million by just not going So for the first time, we will not go. Okay.
In the meantime, Bernard, on this one, minority in Parliament, in a statement issued by its leader, Dr. Keir Solato Forson, claims that international banks rejected Cocoa Board's $1.5 billion loan request because they were concerned that the available cocoa would not suffice to cover both existing and new commitments. It said that the rejection was due to Cocoa Board's poor financial condition and a dramatic drop in cocoa production, which has fallen from 969,000 metric tons in 2016-2017 to just over 400,000 metric tons in the 2023-2024 cocoa crop season. It's claimed that mismanagement has led Cocoa Board to roll over 250,000 metric tons of cocoa commitments and raised doubts about its ability to meet financial obligations.
So what's happening is that Cocoa Board is Nathan is right. You can decide to look at it whichever way. The truth is that we couldn't raise the original amount at the interest that was being offered. It will be unsustainable. So if you look at Bloomberg, for example, they say Ghana is now in talks with cocoa traders. So companies like Barry Callebaut and Olam Group to borrow $500 million to finance industry operations because it could not conclude the annual syndicated loan. Now, the other point is this, that this is the second consecutive season that we have turned to dealers in the beans for funding because we failed to arrange the annual syndicated loan in time, right? So, and of course, those of you who don't know this amount of money is used to pay for seedlings, for chemicals, for fertilizers, and then to buy cocoa beans from farmers, while the foreign exchange helps farmers. The other problem is that with these dollars not coming in the volume, but the other point is that cocoa production itself came down. So
yes, that's true.
The tonnage has been the lowest in also years.
That's true.
I don't know if you have anything on that.
Well, in terms of production, though, page 3 of the BNFT has Joseph Boahen Edu saying that rehabilitated cocoa farms will produce harvest of about 650,000 metric tons of cocoa this season, which is a notable decrease from the annual forecast of 810,000.
So we are struggling with production. Yes. We have swollen shoot disease. We have galamsey. All the rest of those things affecting production. And now the terms for the loan internationally are not favorable. Luckily, there are companies who may help us get the loans. Somebody has said, how can you do 32 years of borrowing to just finance cocoa? We need to change that. So I hope this is a long-term thing. It seems as if they're being forced to take this decision. We'll see how sustainable it becomes.
In the meantime, torrential rains Pamel Boko ravaged over 20 communities, raised numerous farmlands. Story by Francis Debre Dagbang from Sibila. Torrential rains this week have wreaked havoc in the Boko West district of the Upper East region, devastating numerous farmlands in more than 20 communities in the area. The hardest hit are the farmlands in the lowlands, particularly those along the White Volta River. Although some houses were partly submerged, the residents have not been displaced. Now, some communities from Sapeliga to Gogo, Kobore, Yarugu, Timonde, Tanga Kpasalgu, Boya and Boya Kpasalku have all been affected by the recent flood. Other communities, Kopela, Dagunga, Zongoro, Iri.
So is this rain or the spillage?
This is torrential rains.
And this is the same area because this is Binduri was where the the Bagridam's place was affecting, which is just neighbor to Boku. So are we told how much land is affected? What else are we told in the story?
We're told about 65 more communities within Zebela, within the Boko West district, that are surrounded by the Volta River, have also been affected. White Volta, thank you. And then more of that happening, but there's a quote here, Bernard. Says sometimes we manage to mitigate the effects of the torrential rains by harvesting earlier before the spillage of the Bagri Dam and the onset of heavy downpours. So it means that the spillage and the torrential rains come together to ravage the farms in the area.
Okay, now if you, on the flip side though, page 13 of the Daily Graph is talking about drought. Now it says over 1.18 billion cedis in terms of investments in agriculture in the country is at risk as the country experiences drought across the middle and northern belts.
Crazy.
Now, this is the amount invested by farmers into agriculture in the middle and northern areas, and this is coming from Gersel. Now, the threat comes as the Ghana Meteorological Agency predicts that areas within the transition zone are likely to experience longer than usual dry spells this year, which may result in severe drought. The agency has consequently advised farmers to invest more in the seeds of improved varieties and also practice the development of yield enhancement techniques for both food crops and cash crops.
The energy sector has a couple of issues. There's a Trafigura arbitration award which has been reported in the BNFT. The Attorney General is speaking on this, but let's get a BNFT angle.
Yes, and it says the country has been ordered to pay over $111 million in damages to GPGC Limited, a power company following a lengthy arbitration dispute. This ruling by a U.S. federal judge comes as a significant blow to the government's efforts at managing the nation's power sector challenges. The saga began in 2015 when, grappling with an energy crisis, Ghana entered into an agreement with GPGC to install and operate 2 gas turbine plants. However, things went sour in 2018 when the government terminated the contract, citing GPGC's failure to meet certain conditions. So that's when the court proceedings came in, and ultimately we are at this point where judgment has been ruled.
The Attorney General is trying to say that this is not new. If you go to Channel 1 News, AG Minister of Justice Godfrey Yeboah-Dame has addressed recent reports concerning the 134 million judgment awarded to the British energy firm Trafigura. He emphasized that no new judgment or fresh award has been issued by any court against Ghana. Now, according to him, the U.S. District Court document highlighted errors made by the Ghana legal team, which ultimately led to the failure to challenge the significant $134 million judgment in favor of Trafigura. This judgment was originally issued by English courts, arose from a complex legal dispute involving a power purchasing agreement between Trafigura's subsidiary, the Ghana Power Generation Company, GPGC, and the government of Ghana. Now, Godfrey Dame on Eyewitness News said the arbitration award was handed down before his tenure as Attorney General. So he's trying to say it's not under his watch, but that's not really the point. The point is that Ghana is paying, whether it's your tenure or the lady before you. I think the main question is, are we going to have the money to pay this? Could we have avoided this? Right? But I'm sure because he's been attacked on this, he says it's important to point out that this was given way back in 2021, and the government since then has had the obligation to pay. Indeed, they have been making efforts to pay. It's the failure to exhaust payment that has led to the company seeking enforcement in another jurisdiction. So we owe them since 2021 and we've not paid. So, anyway, let's come to other stories.
Bernard, a blogger has been jailed for publishing false news.
Before we get there, there's a story on this energy sector.
Yes, again, related to the energy sector. Now, Nana Kweku Day, who is a member of the Public Interest Accountability Committee, PIAC, has described as worrying the situation where petroleum revenue-funded projects across the country are allowed to deteriorate. Now, he said so when he led an observation, or he led a PIAC team on a working visit to visit some petroleum-funded projects in the Upper East region on Monday. Now, these are some of the projects. The Bolgatanga Naga Road, a chips compound, nurses accommodation at Sakaribisi, and an early childhood development center at Enimwa.
So basically left to deteriorate.
Yes.
Meaning what? Because from the story, it appears some have not even been finished.
Yes.
So it looks like funding challenges have led to, like, maybe they started a road, they get 60%, and because the rest of the money has not been released, the road gets deteriorated before they even finish. So it gets more expensive.
Yes. So he further urged the government to use the petroleum revenue to invest in major infrastructural projects that would make a bigger impact on their lives.
So the deterioration is not because people are misusing the road.
No.
It's because the monies don't come on time. And when you start a project and you delay in finishing,
it hikes up the cost because now you have to do more repairs.
So the government must listen to this more carefully.
But the blogger jailed for publishing false news is called Jeffrey Ephraim Nyame. Story is on Daybreak, page 3. He was jailed for causing panic bank withdrawals in the year 2022, and he's been sentenced to 30 days imprisonment. And prosecutors said publication compelled dollar account holders to withdraw their money from the various banks. Nyame was found guilty by an Accra Circuit Court presided over by Mr. Isaac Ado at the end of the trial on a charge of publication of false news. We understand that he pleaded guilty, and there was an amicus, a friend of the court, who prayed that he be spared this time around, but the judge said that he described the offense as a demeanor, but noted the issue of publication of false news was of grave concern in the advent of social media, noted that there was the need to instill discipline and sanctity in accurate reporting of news. Additionally, journalists were to be very cautious in their venture to break the news first. Now, prosecution led by Assistant Superintendent of Police Seth Frimpong earlier on narrated that the police gathered intelligence on social media indicating that on October 27, 2022, Nyame published an article on his news portal called reportsghana.net, captioned dollar account holders to get Citi at BOG rate for bank withdrawal effective 31st October. So this is the story that's landed him 30 days.
And when he was asked, where did he get the story from? Or he just, was it a figment of his own imagination or what? Still on dispelling issues, IGP is also dispelling some rumors around Boko.
Well, here's the picture of the IGP is here. This front page of the Daily Guide, and the Ghana Police Service has categorically denied allegations regarding the training of militiamen in Kwewu in the eastern region. Yes, in preparation for the general election. In an official press statement, the police command dismissed the claims as unfounded and assured the public that investigations were underway to identify those responsible for spreading such misinformation.
But this one is true. TUC has a new team to lead it. Bernard Owusu elected as chairman. Joshua Ansan replaces Yauba as Secretary General. So Citi Newsroom is reporting that Bernard Owusu has been elected as the new chairman of the Trade Union Congress Ghana. Until he was elected, was the national chairman of the General Transport Petroleum Chemical Workers Union. He takes over from Alex Opoku-Nyako. Bernard Owusu polled 347 votes to defeat Alex Opoku-Nyako, who was seeking to extend his tenure. Deputy General Secretary Joshua Ansan also replaces Dr. Anthony Alba as a substantive Secretary General. And then other positions, Kobna Nyakun Otu is now the Deputy Secretary General of the TUC. He polled 222 votes ahead of Bernard Ajay, his, his immediate contender. Now the Vice Chair is Sister Salamata Brahma. So I like the way they call them brother and sister. Comrade, brother, sister. So TUC has a new team. Right. We hope that the workers. Now there are a couple of stories that worry me, gentlemen. People are stealing too much. Like all kinds of things. So Bost is pursuing 44 OMCs of unpaid levies. PAC goes after 18 years for illegally withdrawing 188,000 with fake certificate. But there's a story. A man stole a goat and he was asked to carry the goat on his head.
55-year-old man.
Imagine if all those who steal public funds are made to carry the evidence on their head. Let's have that story to end.
No, the man is at Pare. It's a farming community near Dambai in the Karachi East Municipality. He's a 55-year-old man.
He stole a goat.
Abalukwesi is his name.
Look at that.
No, they made him carry the thing in the full glare of the residents.
Live goat.
Now, during the match, the children and the youth were singing songs for him, humiliating him. So, Pari people say he has been, terrorizing them for a long time, breaking into their jurisdictions at night and stealing the goats.
Look at that.
So, when they caught him, they say he should carry his booty.
We need to go back through the community. We need to go back to the traditional things. Community service.
It works better.
Carrying the booty on your head. That was a newspaper review. Thank you, Nathan. Thank you, Caleb. Coming up next is the Citi Business News.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Oh, jump on now. Go. Gugomi, at what time will you come back where I don't hear the sound of your car? Why you buy new car? No, I don't change my car. It be the same, right? It be the fuel way I change. Way one shouts it. Ever since I started using the all-new Excellium Premium Fuel, fortified with 3-in-1 action. Oh, Joe, now my car, they run like electric car. No, it's so. This is the type of fuel where they want to. Because now engine, they cost. Where they want for way if I buy it, it go protect my engine. And with the small way I buy, I'll go drive, sir. Absolutely. It's like strapping a turbocharger to your engine and giving it a protector. And what they bust my mindset be the 3-in-1 action. No, Excellium they prevent up to 99% of deposit. It be anti-wear, some be anti-corrosion. Won't pay when I open there. So where can I find this magical fuel? Just head over to any Total Energy service station and your car will thank you. Hey, then make a finish my gobe fast, then rush go Total Energies. My friend, but why your hand my gobe inside? I give you info. Make a fill the gobe too small. Go. Excellium is designed to protect your car engine, decrease fuel consumption, and lower CO2 emissions. Don't say fuel, say Excellium. Choose Excellium, choose quality.
My body, when you wake up in the morning, and you know the money calling, oh, you go work. But you know it's out your side. If I believe with us, if I hold my hand and believe, cause you know it's out your side. And when you dream, no say I did by you. And when you hustle every day, many wanna go. Anything you do, I did for you. Many wanna Fidelity.
City Business News with MTN. Are you a small to medium-sized business looking to manage communication costs effectively? MTN SME Plus offers flexible prepaid packages, classic, super, or premium that include talk time, SMS, data, and voice services. Enjoy free on-net calls every Monday from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Dial star 5060 hash to subscribe today. You can also call 0244308111. Let's get business done better. Nashika Caesar has the details. Good morning, Na.
Good morning, Bernard. Hello and welcome to the breakfast edition of the City Business News, proudly brought to you by MTN, Goyle and Access Bank. My name is Nashika Caesar. Coming up, trading associations petitioned President Akufo-Addo to hold on with signing the Ghana Shippers Authority Bill 2024 into law. We'll tell you why. Also coming up, Bank of Ghana introduces guidelines aimed for cryptocurrencies and other digital assets for a comprehensive framework for Ghana's digital asset sector. And later, economic watchers observe significant improvements in Ghana's trade balance. Let's settle for the details of our stories now. Trading associations are petitioning President Akufo-Addo to hold on with the signing of the recently passed Ghana Shippers Authority Bill 2024 into law, citing numerous issues that were not discussed with stakeholders before the passage. The Ghana Union of Traders Association GUTA in a statement noted, among other things, that it was not involved in the discussion regarding the registration of shippers and shipping service providers. The association stressed that submission of notice of shipment was also not discussed with stakeholders for their input, adding that the final draft was issued to stakeholders only after Parliament had approved the bill. GUTA again pointed out that issues raised on the suspension of registration, renewal of certificates of registration, cancellation of registration and outright rejection, which were only related to permits and licenses to operate as importers, have not been resolved with stakeholders. Away from that, the head of Fintech and Innovation at the Bank of Ghana BOG, Kwame Opon, has clarified assertions that the central bank issues about 5 licenses to Fintech companies to operate some remittances. According to him, the bank remains committed to its mandate to regulate all payment systems and services, including inward remittances. He spoke on the sideline of the 3rd edition of the Graphic Business Stanbic Bank breakfast meeting in Accra.
The Bank of Ghana does not require 5 licenses for Fintech to do inward remittance in Ghana. Please go online, go to Bank of Ghana's website and look for the inward remittance guidelines for payment service providers and dedicated electronic money issuers. It is very clear. Dedicated electronic money issuers, also known as mobile money, and enhanced payment service providers are the only Fintechs who do inward remittance in partnership with commercial banks who hold the money and their Forex. Secondly, all these entities only require 1 license each to be able to serve consumers in Ghana as payment service providers with the authorization of Bank of Ghana and licensing of Bank of Ghana.
You have the head of Fintech and Innovation at the Bank of Ghana, Kwame Opon, speaking there. Now, as part of efforts to foster financial inclusion and provide protection for consumers in the rapidly evolving cryptocurrency market, the Bank of Ghana has introduced a set of guidelines aimed at establishing a comprehensive framework for Ghana's digital sector. The draft regulations come after an extensive internal review of cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin and Tether. Here is more.
The regulations come on the back of growing interest in digital assets among Ghana's tech-savvy population. The central bank's analysis reveals that a rise in digital asset usage is driven by factors including widespread internet access and the emergence of the virtual asset service providers. A key focus of the draft regulations is the oversight of cryptocurrency exchanges and the virtual asset service providers. The proposed laws would require these entities to register with either the Bank of Ghana or the Securities and Exchange Commission, depending on the specific products they offer. The registered exchanges would be obligated to comply with anti-money laundering and counter-terrorism financing regulations. The Bank of Ghana plans to conduct a sandbox test process with selected virtual asset service providers before the regulations are finalized. This testing phase will allow the central bank to identify potential issues and refine the rules for broader implementation.
That was a news desk report. Moving on, economists from Standard Bank, the parent company of Stanbic Bank Ghana, have observed significant improvement in Ghana's trade balance. In its latest flash note of the Africa Markets Revealed report, Standard Bank highlighted that the country's trade balance recorded a surplus of $1.81 billion in June 2024, compared to the $1.60 billion recorded in June 2023. The reports attribute this to a rebound in total export, which grew to $9.23 billion from the $8.14 billion recorded during the same period. There's more in the following news desk report.
The report also indicated that the sharp recovery in total export had a considerable impact on improving the current account balance, which posted a surplus of $1.28 billion in June 2024, up from the $863 million in June 2023. Additionally, the report noted that gross Forex reserves increased, rising to $6.87 billion in June 2024, up from the $6.45 billion in May 2024 and $5.9 billion in March 2024. This recovery has been supported by recent inflows from the IMF program, World Bank Development Policy Operation and Financial Stability Fund loans, alongside the Bank of Ghana's domestic gold purchase program. Furthermore, the Standard Bank flash note linked the recent stabilization of the Ghanaian cedi to the completion of external debt restructuring, improved fiscal conditions, and disbursement from the IMF and World Bank.
That was a news desk report. Now, a task analyst is advocating for tight conditionality on tax exemptions to ensure that Ghana's revenue generation capabilities is not negatively impacted. The World Bank is concerned that a country's tax regime is underperforming due to a multitude of tax reliefs that substantially narrow the corporate income tax base. From 2015 to 2020, Ghana forfeited an estimated average of 1.3% of its gross domestic product GDP annually in potential corporate tax revenue. The World Bank's analysis highlights the proliferation of over 24 different types of tax breaks for companies is a major contributor to this shortfall, costing the country approximately 0.5% of its GDP in lost revenue every year. Francis Timoboy has been speaking to Citi Business News on the issue.
It's about time we tighten the conditionalities that we attach to some of these tax exemptions. So before we grant you any amount of tax exemption, we should tie it to some economic indicators. So for example, you should be able to create some number of employment, and if you are unable to create that employment within some specified time, you refund the taxes to government. And again, where we think that you have the capacity, especially if you're a big company, you have the capacity to pay the tax. I think it's about time we just move from a normal investment decision based on tax incentive to more economic decision. But then if we just make it loosely, and the fact that we need this project, so they are coming to do it for us, and therefore we grant them tax exemption, I think that it should go beyond that and ensure that if there's even any support at all, it is the local small companies that we should give relief to.
Francis Timoboy is a task analyst. Now, on the Forex market today, the dollar could be sold to you at 15 cedis 85 pesos, the British pound at 20 cedis 30 pesos, and the euro at 17 cedis 10 pesos. And that's it for the breakfast edition of the Citi Business News, proudly brought to you by MTN, Goil, and Access Bank. My name is Nashika Caesar. Many thanks for spending your time with me. Do have a great business day.
For over 60 years, Good Energy has served you top quality fuels. Goil brings you Super XP for a smooth ride. It is available in Goil stations nationwide. Goil Super XP is fortified with special additives which help your engine perform better and use less fuel. Goil Super XP is quality fuel, the ideal choice for most vehicles. Energize your ride with Goil Super XP. Who feel ya? Huh? Who be feel? Good energy. Joy dia.
When you want to eat, just Momo it. Tired of the long queues in the supermarket? Pay with Momo. When you really want that beautiful new blouse, just Momo it. When you want to get a trim and get fresh to impress you know who, just Momo it. When you need to pay your utility bills and domestic staff, Shani Momo. When you want to send love to the family back home, send some Momo. Join the millions of MTN Momo users all over Ghana and live life the brighter way. So just Momo it. MTN.
Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CitiCBS.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Yo, turn it up, guys, turn it up. Bim, bim. Oh, that rhythm, yeah, sweet, so that tune, yeah, go mad up the Christmas and beyond. You know, see, so tell all the girl them fi come join up. Hey, DJ, me say that tune, yeah, eat. It's like way from every street. Every top girl want it. Tap up on top, me, I give them that one and them. Me say that tune, yeah, eat. It's like way from every street. Every top girl want it. I tap up on top, me, I give them gas, you know. That tune, yeah, mad up. Inna the Gaza, inna the gully, it turn up. And I answer thirst.
Stone, 12 minutes past 7, Citi Breakfast Show. Kick off his next with Let's Share Go. If you're ready to power up your finances, unlock your path to prosperity, let the Let's Share Go fixed deposit solution be your best option.
Not easy, I go at them, make them get busy. Necessary evil, can't refuse it.
With Let's Share Go's fixed deposit solution, you're not just investing, you're making your money work harder for you. So call 027-004-0799. Send a WhatsApp on the same number, or 027-004-0733. Shareho, let's improve life. And Zonda Ghana Limited, your one-stop shop for quality trucks like Shantui. You know Shantui? Shantui bulldozers and excavators and graders, payloaders, rollers, and then Poe pickups. You know Poe?
I think one day we should go on a tour.
I tell you. TX trucks.
Yeah.
Oil tanks, all made and assembled right here in Ghana. Zonda also has some great after-sales support for your heavy and light-duty trucks. We have 7 branches across Ghana with our main office at the Tema Aflao Road. Call Zonda on 0501-772-222. Zonda, built in Ghana, building Ghana. And guess who's in the house? Dali, Bernards are doing well. You know the TUC today elected a Bernard as their new chairman.
I love to watch you on. When it's 9 later in the
point of view.
Absolutely.
You like me?
I love watching
in all my glory.
Absolutely.
So there's another Bernard who's helping. It's called Brother Bernard Ousu.
This one, there's brother attached to it. Too.
You know, Brother Bernard Ousu is the chairman of TUC.
Big man.
So he's a brother.
Big man.
Yes, and there's also Father Bernard.
Wow.
And there's
good morning to you.
And then there's Bernard. A big
like, you know, when you take the organogram, like I'm the last one trying to. Yeah.
We even have an original chairman. You know that this guy is solid. You know that the Ashanti regional MPP is called Bernard.
See, he should do his thing so that people won't come in.
Because the Bernard's Charlie, we are trying.
You get it? Hello and welcome to 97.3 Citi FM. It's time for sport with me, Bernard Bakery. Thanks to Lesheho and Zonda. Let's get into our stories now. When Chief Executive Officer of Bibiani Gold Stars, Akosiedu, has expressed concerns over the lack of a headline sponsor for the Ghana Premier League with less than a month before the season begins. Betspower and the Ghana Football Association had originally signed a 3-year sponsorship deal worth $6 million with options for annual renewals. However, Betspower reviewed the agreement and decided it was in their best interest to withdraw from the partnership. In an exclusive interview with Channel 1 Sport, Akosiedu urged corporate entities to step in and sponsor the league.
It's quite worrying, and if I can borrow the words of the GFA president, in any day, any time that you hear him discussing this subject, you could you could really see his disappointment though. But I believe behind the scenes, there are a lot of work going on. And one day, very soon, we will have a mega deal for the Premier League. But until then, I feel and also appeal that the corporate Ghana, especially the president and his cabinet and other ministers and staff, can equally have a different thought in supporting the local league, because it's a local league that brings up talent from the lower tier to the upper into the Premier League, where we can get players feeding into the other national teams. So it's a good call if since we are not getting any brand in supporting, in sponsoring the.
Or in relation to the local league, BBN Gold Stars head coach Frimpong Manso has described their recent 1-0 defeat to Kumasi Asante Kotoko in a preseason friendly as a valuable experience for his team. In an exclusive interview with Citi Sport, Coach Manso emphasized that participating in high-caliber preseason matches like this one is crucial for building his players' confidence.
For us, I think it's a good test for us, because we've played a lot of lower tier games, but then this time around it's Kotoko. So for me, I think it's not about us losing the game, but I think it's good. Generally, it's good.
What does this match mean to you?
Oh, yes. That is one confidence boosting game. At least they've played, most of them have not even played with Kotoko. So for me, I think it will give us some form of confidence going forward. So for me, I think it's a very good exercise for us.
Well, away from Frimpong Manso, now the Chief Executive Officer of Right to Dream, Emmanuel Alexa Siedu has expressed optimism about Ghana's talent pool, but noted that the approach to harnessing this talent has been misguided. He made these remarks in an exclusive interview with Channel 1 Sports following his appointment as the Academy CEO, where he aims to guide Right to Dream into its next stage of growth and development.
I think the talent dial has been where it has been for years. There's a huge level of amount of talent in the country. What we don't have is an organized way of tapping into that talent, so that that talent becomes individually profitable to the person, and then the nation as a whole also gains from it. So I guess our job is to try and put in place structures that tap into the talent. But make no mistake, we have a lot of talent in the country. It's not gone down. If anything, by virtue of numbers, it's gone up.
I mean, are you going to enhance your scouting network? If so, how do you even plan on doing that? Just if you could touch on that.
Well, scouting network, yes, but it's all a question of numbers. And then what people like Tony will be bringing to us more data into the crunching the numbers and seeing how good the people that we are picking up are. And hopefully that will help us.
Let's do some more local stuff. And defending Ghana Premier League champions FC Samatex 1996 will take on 2024 FA Cup winners in Satraman FC in the Champion of Champions on August 31, 2024. The game, which will traditionally usher in the new football season, will take place at the TNA Park in Taka, with kick-off scheduled for 6 p.m. To Colombia now, and Minister for Information Fatimatu Abubakar has voiced her strong believe that the Black Princesses will proudly represent the nation in Colombia during the FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup. The team aims to advance beyond the group stage for the first time in what will be their 7th appearance at the tournament.
I am confident that for the 7th time, we are going to move past the group stages and also bring the trophy home. No shaking, no fears. With Stella Nyameche, with the captain band, striker, we have all the confidence in you. We wish you the best. We know that God will help you deliver. I am confident in comfort. Comfort, we know you will comfort us. Defender, papa. We are confident that with the team, no ball will go past you. Afi Amenyeku, goalie, the best, the one and only. We know with you, the goalpost is safe. Nothing will go past you. We are very happy for you and we wish you all the best.
Well, you heard from the Minister for Information, Fatimatu Abubakar, to Europe, and a Brazilian police investigations into allegation of domestic abuse by Manchester United winger Anthony has concluded without any charges being brought, but prosecutors could still look into the claims. The 24-year-old who has denied wrongdoing remains the subject of a Greater Manchester police investigation. Allegations of domestic abuse were made against Anthony by 3 women in September last year, though he has not been arrested or charged in either Brazil or the UK and denies the allegations. On the blue side, Chelsea's boss Enzo Maresca responded to the media after being asked on how he's going to keep his squad content.
I think it's the job of all of the manager to try to keep all the players happy, but this is something almost impossible because they train every day to get minutes, and at the end, only 11 they are going to play. Some of them they wanna play some minutes from the bench, but it's almost impossible to keep all of them happy. The only thing I can say is the same thing I said your colleague, that I try always to be honest with all of them. In this moment, probably the noise it's more outside because I'm working with 21, 22 players in the last, since we are back from USA. I'm not working with the 42 or 43 players, but I already said many times, but I can see that you like to say that we have 42, 43 players, but more than 15 players, they are training apart. They are not with the team.
So the coach confirms it's 42, 43. That's sweet, isn't it? Enzo Maresca talking about, how he's going to keep his squad content ahead of the new campaign. Already began it, and we'll see how that one goes. Now, on the pitch later today, Chelsea will take on Servette FC from Switzerland in the Europa Conference League playoff round at Stamford Bridge. That's later tonight at 7 p.m. Now, Aston Villa goalkeeper Emiliano Martinez has signed a new long-term contract with the club. A 31-year-old Argentina international has extended his stay until 2029. Martinez joined Villa from Arsenal for £17 million in 2020 and has made over 150 appearances for the club. Well, that's your sports this morning. For more sports stories, log on to citisportsonline.com. Thanks to Lasheo and Zonda. I am Bernard Baker. Sport is life. Get involved.
Hey, 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 hey. Lashego, hey, Lashego, hey, Lashego, hey, mama. If you need unique services, innovative financial solutions, we deliver on our promise, cause we are number one. Let's go, we improve your life. Let's go, hey, mama, hey, mama, hey, mama. Even when you're stuck with nothing, no matter your situation, let's go, we improve your life. Let's go, hey, let's go, hey, let's go, hey, mama, hey, mama, hey, mama. Let's go, we improve your life.
In a world where only the best survives, you need a fuel that can match your drive. A fuel with unparalleled protection for your engine, superior efficiency, and unrivaled performance. A fuel so unbeatable, when you get behind the wheel, you'll focus on what really matters. The journey ahead. That fuel is Shell V-Power, because no other fuel gives your engine better protection, better efficiency, and better performance. Be unbeatable. Drive unbeatable. Shell V-Power. Shell, go well.
Guys, Charlie, you know that mining contract I've been chasing for years?
I just got awarded a deal. But the issue is where to get the right and quality heavy-duty trucks to execute this job here in Ghana.
Relax, my guy. Remember my recent construction deal at Pokwase? Zonda sorted me out.
Zonda? What? Who is that?
Zonda Tech Ghana Limited is your one-stop shop for machinery, heavy and light-duty trucks, and pickups. They have the Shantui bulldozers, graders, payloaders, rollers, FUA pickups, 4-land light trucks, TX trucks, and oil tanks. Made and assembled right here in Ghana with top-notch after-sale service and standard prices.
Made in Ghana. This is amazing.
You haven't seen my Zonda Power pickup, which I take to the office. Strong, durable, and tough on our roads.
Hey, that's from Zonda too?
Absolutely. Zonda is the right place for you, my guy.
Oh, now I am sorted with Zonda. Zonda Tech Ghana Limited, your solution for heavy and light-duty trucks. Located at Tema, off their Flower Road. Call 0501-772-222 or 0501-773-333. Zonda, built in Ghana, building Ghana.
Hey, well, yo, I did tire for Abu Chef. See, everything I do, Abu won't do some. Last year, I bought a cattle farm in Yanton. I see you go buy a farm next to mine. I marry Fauzia. No, he marries Fauzia's sister. I buy my motorbike. I see, no, he go buy motorbike too.
Hey, but you don't see, say, since you buy your bike, he has bought 4 motorbikes, which have all broken down. You know they maintain bikes at all.
His problem be say he dey put wrong lubricant for his bike inside. The correct motorbike oil where if you put inside be Shell Advanced Lubricant. Shell Advanced Lubricant be the only motorbike oil where they make them for motorbike to protect engine, clutch and brake. Where you no. Wait me, wallahi, I no go tell him. Shell. Hey, well, wait, where you dey go?
If you don't go tell Abu, me I dey go tell him say make you use Shell Advanced Lubricant for him bike.
Hey.
Visit any Shell station or distributor today to get your Shell Advanced Lubricant for your motorbike. Shell Advance, complete protection for your bike.
Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CitiCBS.
This is a special security announcement. Trelledo, Africa's strongest burglar proofing, announces big discounts on all sliding security barriers, roller shutters, and clear guards to protect homes and offices from criminals. Trelledo is fighting rising prices by offering big savings and lower prices. Be safe, secure your premises. Google Trelledo or call 0561 24 24 24. Trelledo, Africa's strongest burglar proofing.
Channel 1 TV is live on DSTV, GoTV, and HD+. On DSTV, find us on Channel 363. On GoTV, we're on Channel 117. And on HD+, get us on Channel 108. On a digital TV, run a new search. But take note that without an antenna, you cannot access Channel 1 TV. Channel 1 TV can be accessed on any free-to-air digital box, like the DSTV and HD+ boxes. Channel 1 TV, telling your story, empowering change.
Hey, nowadays, germs are in the air. Aren't you concerned?
Concerned about what?
About the children, of course. In times like this, they sneeze, cough, and fall ill just like that.
This is why we need to give our children and ourselves a fighting chance with the maximum protection of Dettol soap. Dettol soap not only refreshes you, but it can be used for bathing and washing hands. So keep calm. Get Dettol soap.
Dettol protects from up to 100 illness-causing germs.
Dettol is endorsed by the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association.
This advert is FDA approved.
Join the Republic Verse. Enter the Republic Bank space. Online or within the banking hall, we open the right doors for you to make the most of life. With our suite of superb banking products and services, our clients, corporate, SME, investments, and individuals get to enjoy amazing benefits. Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
We're the one for you.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Coming up next is your insurance, and it's brought to you by Enterprise at 100. Enterprise, your advantage.
Insurance Today is a public education service by Enterprise Insurance.
ensure you speak with your insurance broker or agent before making any insurance decisions.
Hello, I am Barbara Taylor. A policyholder's ultimate aim of taking an insurance policy really is to be able to claim back the cost of damages or losses caused by the risks insured. So, how do you ensure a successful insurance claims process? Basically, the first step in the claims process is for a policyholder to formally notify the insurance company of the request for compensation for a loss incurred arising from a risk covered under the policy. Prepare for the process by gathering relevant documents like receipts, invoices, proof of ownership, relevant photos and accounts of the event or damage that you are claiming against. Give the insurer these documents and clear details of the items damaged or lost. Next step is that the insurer conducts investigations and reviews the policy to ensure that the claim meets all agreed terms and conditions. Once the claim is confirmed to meet the terms, the insurer conducts a damage evaluation. Based on this, payment is arranged for the claim. In motor insurance claim, you must report to your insurer with a photocopy of the driver's license and a complete claim form. You must also provide photos of the accident vehicle, clearly showing the registration number, as well as an estimate of the cost of repairs. We would love to share more detailed information with you. So, come over to any Enterprise Insurance branch offices or email us at insurancetoday@myenterprisegroup.io or by WhatsApp at 0548 231149.
Enterprise, your advantage.
Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CitiCBS.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Unleashing the power of relevant radio. This is Citi 97.3.
Many dance on Yinanyo. Aye, Ancasadon, Namido. Na eba no say, no don't queen, na minye dinyo. A druboni na minumwana, and I say, Minkosha confu. Se obido wana, Jainia uki kano na mintio. Alea teacher, bido himself, if you only follow.
Rise above the noise.
Radio. This is Citi 97.3.
7:35 Citi Breakfast Show. A few quick birthdays coming through. Today, the 22nd day of August. Please help me wish my godfather Alhaji Ibrahim Mauko Lumo, founder of Mauko Auto Parts of Aboseo Kai, a happy birthday and God blessings. This is from Zilix Dwayne. Happy birthday to Ifwa Amwa Ado Etua of the People and Purpose Department of Deloitte from your country partner, Daniel Kojosu and all staff. Happy birthday to my wonderful mom and mentor, Mrs. Grace Isaac Aye, Treasurer of First Bank Ghana Limited. May God continue to shower his blessings over you. I love you, from your daughter, Alberta. Also wish my mother a happy birthday, glorious birthday to Nodekua, Mrs. Ahiabo. May the Lord continue to grant you long life, good health, and divine peace. Stay blessed, from your daughter, Jigbodi. And wishing the Ashanti Professionals or the Ashanti Professionals Club, wish two sons of Ashanti Man, or this year, Dr. Kwabna Tando, Deputy DG of GES, and Ohiniba Opoku Eduse, Deputy CEO DVLA, a glorious belated happy birthday. May the good Lord and the golden spirit of Ashanti Man continue to bless you. From your National Executive Council, Dr. Kwabna Tando and Ohiniba Opoku Eduse.
And this is coming from Doris Maunyo Laye. She says today is the birthday of Reverend Mrs. Vivian Ajanasari of the Perez Chapel. She's the first lady of Perez. May God satisfy her with good health, long life, and prosperity. Happy birthday, Reverend Mrs. Vivian Ajanasari. And Mom Becky is wishing her son, TJ Kitcher, in Tema a happy birthday with God's blessings. Beatrice Adoko entry says, please wish my son Daniel Kumsin a glorious happy birthday for me. Happy 9th wedding anniversary to Mr. Same Oting of Kasaprako and Mrs. Lucky Kunedu Oting of Deloitte. Forever to go. That's the message. Hello, good morning. Please help me wish a happy birthday to our 4 amazing blessings. Okay, Eloisa, Eliora, Eliana, and Ilian. My God, Elioisa, Eliora, Elian, and Ilian. On your special day, and always we celebrate the unique qualities and strengths that make each of you special. May this year bring you growth, favor, and adventure together and individually. You bring so much joy and love into our lives, and we are grateful for the quadruple blessings you are. God bless you, angels. This is coming from Seth A. Kofi. Wow.
All right, so many things to talk about this morning. There's a very, very important report that has been launched by Weigo. I don't know if you've heard of them. So this organization have been working on the impacts of cost of living crisis on workers in the informal employment in Ghana. Yeah. Today we'll be speaking to some of those workers in the informal economies because, you know, according to the intro, Ghana is facing a cost of living crisis marked by a rapid escalation in prices of goods and services, which reached almost a peak in December 2022. And then there are angles given as to the effects of that on incomes and livelihoods of people in informal sector economy. Yeah. We'll talk about that later in the morning. Again, this is the 3rd straight day we're focused on the North. So on Tuesday, our discussion was on drought. Yes. The fact that many parts of the northern region and the transition belt. So Bono East, Bono, Harfo parts of, and then you go to the Savannah region, the northern region in particular, and then parts of the northeast had not had rains since the beginning of July. Then yesterday, we discussed the effects of the spillage of the Bagre Dam on communities in Binduri and Garu, which is in the Upper East region, and close to Boko. So that was day 2. Now, these guys are having no respite because the Ghanaian Times is now reporting that torrential rains are also pummeling Boko. Now, the reason there's been a dry patch is this. The dry spell in the forest zone has moved further up north to Savannah and north. Now, a lot of the rains are falling in the Sahelian region, so Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso, and the climate of the extreme north of Ghana is getting increasingly Sahelian. So if you have Upper East and Upper West, the uppermost portions. So basically, they are exhibiting characteristics of the Sahel climate. Yeah. So the Ghanaian Times reports today on page 12 that there's been almost unprecedented rain in the Boku West district of the Upper East region, devastating numerous farmlands in more than 20 communities. Now, it says the hardest hit farmlands are in the lowlands close to the White Volta, same places that the Bagre Dam spillage is affecting. So this is what we call a double whammy. And then it says, although some houses were partly submerged, the residents were not displaced, which means that they sort of knew this was going to happen. All right. Then it mentions all 65 communities in Zabela. Now, you see, when some of these numbers, when they are put out, they seem like just numbers. You know, I visited communities during the Akosombo Dam spillage. So a community could have 200 people, could have 100 people. All right. It's a settlement. So it is a lot of people. Yeah. 65 communities in Zabela within the Boku West district, surrounded by the White Volta, making them increasingly vulnerable to unpredictable floods. And 20 of those 65 were badly affected. 20 of those 65 were badly affected. Now, the residents expressed concern that the floods could transform some communities into swamps, which could bring reptiles, destroy their farms, lead to sicknesses. So it's not just a question of displacement and the fact that they have not been displaced. Once you have more water than you can move, if you're a farmer, your farm is destroyed. You may not be able to sleep in that house for weeks. Yeah. It may bring mosquitoes and other kinds of insects that will bring disease. Sure. It may bring reptiles that will give you snake bites. All of that with a place where there isn't a lot of money. And then it's not too far from Boku itself, which is a conflict-riddled area. So I'm asking for not just NADMO, and of course national security is there, should treat this as a very serious emergency. All right. So when contacted, director of NADMO in Boku West, Amos Nderigo, acknowledged the impact of the heavy rains, but he said that this particular one was not triggered by the Bagre Dam on Monday. So the Bagre Dam one is in Binduri. Yeah. This one is Boku. This is rains. All right. Now, he lamented the impact of the floods, which he says has severely affected farmlands. And then he said that organizations have been closely monitoring the situation and advised farmers in the lowlands to evacuate. All right. Now, residents living near the White Volta have also been advised to temporarily move to higher ground for their own safety. Question is, are there shelters? You remember when the Akosombo Dam was spilled, there were specific places designated as safe havens. All right. So the question for NADMO in the Boku West district is that, have safe havens been designated for these people? All right. Because he says he's advising the people to move to higher ground. Meanwhile, some farmers whose crops had been submerged under the water told the Ghanaian Times that highlands were not as fertile for crop cultivation as the lowlands. Additionally, they said lack of access to productive farmlands, and they were also financially unable to afford fertilizers. And then basically that's what it is. I don't know what you guys think. Now, farmers in places like Techiman, Kintampo, and Kranza in the Bono region, as well as parts of Volta and Greater Accra, have been grappling with little rain. And then you have too much rain in the extreme north. This is what people call climate change, which some people say is not true. Because when you read about climate change, it tells you about extreme weather patterns, irregular rainfall patterns. So extreme heat, extreme cold, extreme drought, all happening around the same time. All right, and I don't think we have enough climate mitigation awareness. I'm not even sure people understand these things, So what worries me is usually when we do these stories, we only talk to NADMO, which suggests that we are only looking at the immediate response. What about the people in the EPA, or I don't know which body is responsible for climate mitigation in Ghana? Is there a climate mitigation office where the negative effects of climate change can be reduced? Do you get my point? So is it the EPA that owns it? Is it the Ministry of Environment? Is it the Ministry of Agric? You get it? Because climate is such a major issue globally. But here, I still think we just pay lip service to it. You get it? And sometimes we don't track the effects of this on farms, even on food. What can grow? What can we eat? We talk about drought-resistant crops and things. So we need to speak to more scientists. And I also think that there needs to be better community engagement with communities to explain to them. Usually when you go to a community like this, they'll tell you that every year this happens. Every year this happens at this time. What climate change means is that what you know to happen every year at this time may not happen this year. So your long-held knowledge around crop season, around cycles, gets interrupted by these things. And when people are not aware, they don't take action to protect themselves. So, for example, I know there are people who calculate that we'll come to Accra and do Kayayu between, say, June and August. And then we'll go back, say, September to do planting for want of. So they've calibrated their life on the basis of patterns that they've lived through the years. What climate change is saying is that pattern has been interrupted. Now, somebody needs to go and explain that in a way that can help them adjust. You get it? And I think there's a lot of opportunity for this. So it's good to say NADMO. Yes, people have been affected. Let's give them blankets and things. But that's just the basic level. All right? We should be more proactive in the way we educate people in vulnerable communities about the effects of climate interruption. And I think the media also needs to do a better job in highlighting what climate change actually means. You get it? I think it's still very esoteric. It's still very up there. It's a very posh subject. The way they even speak about it. The people in the industry, they are always using jargons. Like when I go for these climate programs, they are so intellectual. They are so, what I'm saying? They don't bring it home. If we are discussing cost of food, everybody can talk some. So if you say, for example, maize prices are high,
we feel it.
A farmer can talk about it. Somebody who hasn't gone to school can discuss it. But when you say climate change, it sounds so, book long. And I think it's also the media's fault. We need to break it down and not make it sound so, because it's very serious. Do you agree with me, right?
Oh, of course, completely.
Some of your best scholars in climate change, it will still be difficult for us to even make sense of all the things they say on a local radio station.
Yeah.
And I don't know what you can do to help. It's something we need to talk about.
Well, they can find me. We'll have a conversation about it. Because I can't find all of them. I know quite a few of them.
I'm not even blaming. I'm just saying. But how can we make our vulnerable? You see, poverty is not just lack of money. It's also lack of information. All right. So even in the financial markets, the better information you get, the more money you make.
Yeah.
So when people don't have access to the right kind of information, it leads to a lot of distraction.
Yeah. My disappointment generally lies in how we've spent a lot of time talking about climate, haven't we? And I don't mean us here. I mean the country, by the people who run it, by the institutions that are responsible for this. I think the past 5 or 6 years has seen a significant uptick in climate conferences, heavy statements on climate change, on the environment. But if you look at what we do here, I listened to the conversation that you had yesterday with Professor Canton, for instance, where he spoke about the almost non-existent expertise of agric meteorology.
Yeah, agrometeorology.
Yeah, agrometeorology.
Yeah, he says there's only one guy he knows who can do that.
And I ask myself, so we've been having these conversations on a very serious level as a country for the past 6 years, and it didn't take anywhere. That this is something that Ghana lacked. This is an expertise that perhaps we need to find a bit more of. It's not something that you can get 100 of, but perhaps we could get 4 or 5 more. We spoke about irrigation heavily over the past 2 days. In having these conversations about climate change and its impact and what was supposed to come, we somehow managed to mess up the interventions that we were supposed to make in these times. So you look at what we have said as a country by the ministers, by whoever it is the past 6 years. We've attended COP26, we've attended COP27. We sent 400 strong delegations to go and sign all kinds of things. We are doing well.
And yet 2 days of rain and 20 communities don't know what to do.
We are doing greening Ghana.
What's the point?
So we seem to be having these big conversations. All kinds of things are being said. But then you look at
what's on the ground.
What's on the ground. It doesn't match the investments
at all
we are making up there. And you ask yourself, somebody might say, oh, it's in the works.
Which works?
But at least some of these things should have started reflecting, because it helps you if we have that knowledge. And we do have that knowledge that climate change brings this. That we cannot continue to rely on rain-fed agriculture by this time. That we need to have support systems for our bread baskets, that we require A, B, C, D as a country to move forward. And we've been having these big conversations at the top, but some way, somehow, it doesn't seem to reflect in what are we doing?
And you know what is even more disappointing? Beyond like 20 communities, when you take Cocoa Board as a case study, the effect of climate change, poor environmental stewardship, is so obvious that, let me give you an example.
You can't run away from it.
2016, 2017, our cocoa production was close to 1 million tons.
Tons, yes.
I did an editorial on this, 969,000 metric tons. All right. Then you come to 2017, 2018, it started falling. So from 969, it went to 904. Then 2018, 2019, 811. 2019, 2020, 766. 2020 went up to 1 million. Then it came down drastically in 2021 to 684,000. As I speak to you, it's below 650,000.
Yes.
Why? Cocoa swollen shoot virus disease, which is climate related. Galamsey
heavily
taking thousands of hectares of farmlands, sometimes forcibly from people, flooding people's cocoa farms in order to mine. Okay. And then also, in my view, a misdirected focus on procurement-led agri interventions, where you supply fertilizer, people smuggle it, it doesn't really get to the end user. People are not being, young people are not entering cocoa. A lot of cocoa farmers are too old.
Yes.
You get it? And of course, adverse financing conditions, where now you have, look at that rate, 8%. Your general average interest on cocoa purchase, cocoa credit, cocoa syndicated loan, is LIBOR plus 1.7%. Okay, that's general since 2010. From last year, they were offering us 8%, which goes to the story Nathan was reading. Sometimes you also need to admit the fact. You see, this is the thing with Ghana. The truth will set you free. Don't try and what's the word? Polish it and spin it. The financing conditions, because of your debt exchange and your economic conditions, mean that it will not make sense to go and borrow at 8% for cocoa syndicated loans. Right? Yeah. Meanwhile, cocoa syndicated loan is one of the big sources of dollars for your country. Yeah. So, whoever wins this election in 2024 is going to inherit a very difficult situation. Because once you don't have enough FX coming, your currency will start having challenges. Mm-hmm. Your cocoa farmers are not producing enough. They are aging. The farmers are aging. Mm-hmm. Okay, so don't tell us that for the first time in 32 years we decided to go local. No, that's not.
Yeah, that narrative
is not there. The real issue is that your production is low, your financing conditions are not favorable, and you've been forced. We will not admit it. We are too interested in PR. You get me? And I don't think that's the way to go when it comes to very sensitive things like climate change, people's livelihoods. Do you understand? Why are we so obsessed with what people say we've done better? You haven't. Your production is low, the loan amount, the interest rate. So now you are going to companies within the sector to give you the 500 million.
Which is going to kill us some more.
I'm not sure. It depends on the terms.
Oh,
it depends on the terms they are given.
Will it not be paid in dollars?
But if the terms are better than what the syndicated loan people were offering, then it's not going to kill us some more. Because if you had gone for that 8%, the interests were just too high. Okay. But what we are trying to say is that let's not make things, let's not complicate issues to sound intelligent.
Yeah.
If you cannot save people after 2 days of rain, you really don't understand climate mitigation. Despite the number of books you've written about it, you've not put in place a system to help protect your farmers. Your farmers don't even have an appreciation of what to do when it rains for 2 days more than prescribed. According to Professor Canton, you don't even have an agro-climatologist. Or an agro-meteorologist. That's an indictment on a country that has over 50% of its people in farming. You don't have somebody whose expertise is in translating climate information for farms. It's just for air travel. Meanwhile, you are putting money in many projects.
Well. This drought is going to cost what? 1.8 billion?
That's what the graphics is reporting.
According to Gesell.
1.18 billion cedis are Greek investment in danger because of drought. I don't know. We'll come back to these topics and do some interviews. Send us your thoughts. 054-998-6996. The call to action. NADMO, EPA, Ministry of Environment, please take serious action for the people of Boko and surrounding areas. 20 communities affected by torrential rains. Numerous farmlands affected. Let's translate the jargon in climate mitigation into real action.
But we have the Ghana National Climate Change Policy.
I'm sure we have a policy. We have plenty.
We have everything.
People even come and borrow our policy and implement.
And we have the Country Climate Development Report, World Bank's report on Ghana. So there's a lot of information. I'm just trying to get.
Godfrey, what worries me is that our intellectuals have also become tired.
Yeah.
So what's happening is that they will produce the research. They know the policymakers will not use it, and they are tired. Once some donor will, it's for me. If you like, I know some really smart people in the climate space.
Yes.
Who have done some really good work. The last time I was at a World Bank event, the room was full of experts on climate mitigation. Great ideas. There was no politician there. No minister came. No MP came.
It's boring.
I'm not interested.
So the question is, what are we doing? The people who go to parliament to make decisions are not interested in these reports. So we have World Bank, call these experts from the university. We discuss everything. No duty bearer is there. No MP is there. And we just come and talk and go. Like, what's the problem? It's, if we don't take care, we will, you see, the truth will always expose you. You can have the knowledge,
I think what we've not been able to do still, as we continue to grow as a country, is to figure out where the spaces that we need to just listen to the people who know and not politicians. Our problem as we speak now is the fact that everything is the politicians' take. Okay, so Dr. Marian Sapa might say something, but the MP for somewhere says, okay, Dr. Sapa, what can I say? But at the end, he say, and it is the MP's take that will go over the well-researched expert advice of the person at the University of Ghana or the UDS or wherever.
It's not tailored to votes.
Yeah, so. we need to separate the two, where the inputs of these persons matter over, so that we, other than that.
Or should we reverse it and say, I was telling you when I was watching the U.S. Congress hearing for the head of the Secret Service when Trump was shot. Look, from a 30-something-year-old first-time congresswoman to an 89-year-old woman, there was quality oozing through every question. The level of thoroughness of their questions and the level of preparation tells you that some societies have gatekeepers for important positions like congressmen. If we don't take care, people who make laws for us, some of them may not even be able to read or write. And we are not.
Someone will tell you it doesn't matter.
It matters.
Oh, I'm saying somebody will tell you it doesn't matter.
You know why it matters? The work of parliament is threefold. Legislation is one. legislation requires a lot of literacy. Number two, you are holding executives to account. Government, if I get a document to read before even a 2-hour radio show, sometimes I need interns to help me break it down. If you're a parliamentarian going to sit in a committee, sometimes they give you a 300-page loan agreement and you get 24 hours to read it. How are you going to? You see, let's not kid ourselves. So. Every society must make sure its best lead it. Let's not make it seem like, Parliament is a very high position because they can destroy a lot of things. When you go and listen to the quality of the discourse they have, I think we are shooting ourselves in the foot. Our current politics does not allow the best people to get into some of those positions, which is why an intellectual can do a great work on climate mitigation. Nobody's going to care about it because it doesn't bring food. You know,
no politician has heard of it.
Anyway, we'll bring the tech and social media trends, and then we'll move into some specific conversations. Tech and social media trends is brought to us by
First Bank Ghana and Telecel. This long vacation, First Bank Ghana is doing amazing things for your wards and your children. They call it the First Bank Ghana Junior Internship Program. It's started from the 15th of July, running all the way to the 15th of September. We'll give them valuable work experience. All you have to do is to sign up. The kids, if they are below 12, open the Kids First account for them. Between 13 to 17, open the Me First account, deposit an initial 300 Ghana cedis and apply for the First Bank Ghana Junior Internship Program. We have 5 exciting days of an internship at any of our branches for them. They get to participate in an essay writing competition as well. The attractive cash prizes. Find out more about the First Bank Ghana Junior Internship Program. Call us on 0596 921 921. The email is firstsolutions@firstbankgroup.com. First Bank Ghana, you first. And then there is some money raining around. We call it a Telecel More Money promo. Each week, each month, 30,000 Ghana cedis is up for grabs. We have a grand total of 1 million Ghana cedis in all that could be won. Could be you. Simply reload your mobile using your Telecel cash wallet and be part of the daily and weekly draw where you could win up to 30,000 Ghana cedis. When you purchase airtime, you have the chance. The more you do, you double your chances. If you make payments onto your fixed broadband, that also gives you a chance to become the next millionaire. The more you reload, the better your chances of winning in the Telecel More Money promo. Opt in for free, dial star 500 hash or send win to 500 or visit the Telecel Play app. Is a promo that's regulated by the NLA on the Caritas Lottery platform. T's and C's apply. Telecel, connecting energies.
So let's get into the segment. Nathan will tell us what's trending.
Well, a number of different things trending. Let's start off with politics and related matters. So Kojo Nkrumah, Godfrey Dami. Yeah, Kojo is still. The vice president, Dr. Bamia, was in his constituency yesterday. So that and remnants of still your conversation with him from earlier on in the week. So those are the things that are trending on the side of politics. The name Malik is also trending. Of course, other things are in there, but Malik Basintale of the NDC is also trending as well. He seems to be a favorite these days with his appearances and a commentary on politics in the country. On the music or pop culture side of things, Shatta is trending. He has an upcoming album. It will be released on the 20th of September. The title is Shatta and Fans Album. Shatta and Fans Album. And he's dropped the track list for that particular album. So Shatta fans are really, really happy. The artwork is also quite nice. And from the track list, I can say that he produced the entire album himself. He collaborated with other beat makers, but he has credits on every single song. On the sporty side of things, a myriad of names trending. Manon Neuer trending, Ter Stegen, Barca, Alemany, Manuel Ugarte, several names, all of them transfer related. Okay. So for Manuel Neuer, he's retired from international football. He wants to focus more on club football these days. So that's why Manuel Ugarte plays for PSG, strongly linked with Manchester United, also in the trends as well. Alemany, he's sporting director of Barcelona. And the reason why he's trending is because yesterday it was announced that Ilkay Gundogan was going back to Manchester City.
It's called back to sender.
So people are saying,
Man City to Barca to Man City.
Alemany, what is he doing?
I think there's a problem in Barcelona.
They have money problems.
They are not able to pay.
They are not able to register. Their cash, their financials are not in a good place. So now it's like almost buy one, sell one.
Buy one, sell one free.
No, that can.
Why is Raheem Sterling not
now?
trending?
Raheem Sterling, well, he was trending yesterday,
Charlie.
and in some aspects, he's also trending. So players like Mudryk and Madueke,
they are not trying crowd.
all trending. So Sterling,
Chelsea have 45 players.
They have 53 by the last count. But the point is that Chelsea manager Enzo Maresca, he said players like Mudryk, Madueke, Sterling, they should train somewhere. He's only working with 21 players.
It's terrible, though.
So those are some of the things.
A whole Raheem Sterling,
bro.
So his club says that they don't want him,
and he to his, he's requested to leave. So now Chelsea need to find a buyer.
But if he doesn't get a club, they will have to still pay him.
But he's still technically on the payroll.
Even though he's not playing.
Yes, they have to pay him. There are like 21 players who are training on the side.
So why don't the clubs do pay per play?
So if you play, then we pay you.
Yeah, we got to pay. So he's just there collecting £350,000 a week, even if they don't play him.
Coffin. At the point, the players don't care about the money; they want to play. So we'll see.
£350,000 a week,
bro.
Caleb, have you seen some before?
But I know here before.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Since 1894, we've witnessed the evolution of a brand and proudly partnered with its people on the path to prosperity. From the ink-stained ledgers of the past to the lightning-fast transactions of today, First Bank has consistently adapted, embracing innovation while cherishing the legacy of our heritage and making giant strides across the globe. It's not just about banking, it's about enabling your success generation after generation. Our legacy defined the past, shaped the present, and in 2094, we'll still be fostering financial security and stability for future generations. We are helping to create a future where the possibilities are infinite, the opportunities borderless, and where the world looks up to Africa. Let's awaken the giant in you. You first. First Bank.
Kind of way, tell us how the more money promo now.
Everybody likes money, but what do we like more than money? More money! Join the Telecel More Money promo and win money, more money, and even more money. Simply opt in for free and reload your mobile and broadband and be the lucky winner of the 1 million Ghana cedis grand prize. Also win cash prizes of up to 3 million Ghana cedis in the daily and weekly draw. Opt in for free by dialing *500# or send WIN to 500, or you can opt in on the Telecel Play app. The more you reload, the higher chances of winning in the Telecel More Money promo. Keep loading, win, and be a millionaire.
Telecel. Connecting energies.
Terms and conditions apply. This promo is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas Lottery platform.
Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CitiCBS.
Education is the most powerful weapon to change the world. At Heritage Christian University, you're assured of quality education. Accredited by GTech and affiliated to KNUST and UCC, we offer programs like Bachelor of Business Administration, Community Development and Theology, Theology and Ministry, Psychology, Nursing, Information Technology, Information Security, and Business Information Technology. Professional programs like ICA, CIMG, CIHRM, ABE. We also offer short courses on media and IT. What makes Heritage stand out is our experience and scholar practitioner faculty, entrepreneurial training with financial support, ultramodern facilities, and hostels. Qualifications for entry is WASI or SSC or GBCE, HND or Diploma Top-Up. Mature 25 years and above. Heritage is located at Amasaman behind the Olympic Stadium. Contact us on 054-777-7731 or 020-229-8399 or www.hcuc.edu.gh.
Hey, Bosu, long time.
Yeah. Hey, go and say mu yen yo mu. Before na land in mu biwa.
Oh, Gold Super XP. Tregu Gold Station bebre mu Bosu.
Oh, fantastic. Super XP.
Quality. Super. Gold Super XP. Bosu, ube feel.
I like that.
Gold Super XP. Quality fuel that brings you choice and takes you further. Ideal for most vehicles and fortified with special additives to help your engine perform better and consume less. It's available in many Gold stations nationwide. Gold Super XP. Woo feel ya. Ha? Woo feel. Goyle, good energy. Yeah,
Nominations are open for the 8th edition of the prestigious Ghana Energy Awards until August 30th. Under the theme, the role of local content in building Ghana's energy sector. Categories for this year include the Energy Personality of the Year, Energy Company of the Year, and many more.
Visit www.GhanaEnergyAwards.com.
Endorsed by the Ministry of Energy and the World Energy Council Ghana. Media partners, Joy FM, Graphic News Plus. For sponsorship inquiries, please call 030-3940-300. Ghana Energy Awards, 8 years of redefining excellence.
Calling all shoppers. This month at Oka Decor, we have an offer that you simply cannot resist. Enjoy an irresistible 20% off a huge variety of stylish and modern furniture. Visit Oka Decor on Spintex Road to enjoy our irresistible offers.
From small villages to big cities across Ghana, healthcare businesses have goals. Goals to provide better care with better equipment, to expand and better serve more communities, to build better medical labs, better clinics, and bring better healthcare to more people. Goals to help people get better. EcoBank provides your healthcare business with working capital through the EcoBank Merchant Cash Advance. EcoBank's range of bespoke asset finance solutions make buying medical equipment, expanding pharmacies and labs effortless. It's a better way to a healthier Ghana. Open an EcoBank account for a healthcare business now. Contact EcoBank via 0800-003-225 toll free or businessassist@ecobank.com for more. A better way, a better Africa. EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
And he's embroiled in some controversy because he's running for SRC president at the University of Ghana. He's been disqualified. He's sought to injunct the process. Yeah.
No, the system say you're the answer or guru any.
Translite Solar is great with a solar package to help you see in the dark. Solar power is no longer just a backup for ECG, but a viable everyday energy source. Install a system from Translite and enjoy uninterrupted power supply. Visit us at 98 Boundary Road, East Legon, between ARS and American House. You can also visit our website, translitesolar.com, or call 0504-249-229. Everywhere there's light, there's Translite.
The president Eugene never had.
Well, it's not over. It's not over.
The president.
And which new exclusive estate is built around a central green park with all the family amenities you deserve, including private movie theater, pedal, tennis court, and more? It's called Akaya by Trazaco. The leading residential developer has done it again. We brought you Villaggio, Primavera, and Trazaco Valley.
Yes.
Now we're redefining urban living, suburban living in Pantan with Akaya by Trazaco. We've broken ground on phase 1. Get in touch. Go to akayabytrazaco.com for more information. And the new order of retirement is here. You can retire on your own terms with a guaranteed monthly income for the rest of your life. Invest a lump sum into the Old Mutual Retirement Salary Plan and start receiving monthly income to enjoy the perfect retirement. It's that easy. The best part is you get to enjoy salary increases between 16% or more in 2024. Get in touch with Old Mutual 0504 534 333 or visit oldmutual.com.gh for more information. Old Mutual do great things every day. And insist on quality, insist on Belpack tissue, the perfect companion for you in terms of softness and strength. Toilet rolls, kitchen towels, pocket and facial tissues. It lasts longer, saves you money. Call 055 114 4400. Belpack tissues, another quality product from Belacqua.
Now, there's an exciting new chocolate beverage on the market. It's called Twisco. It's from the producers of Cowbell. It's a great chocolate drink made with a blend of premium cocoa powder and enriched with NF4. Start your day with a cup of the great tasting Twisco and power your dream. And this ad is FDA approved. Now, Ash Foam is your one-stop shop for all your home soft furnishings. We are introducing a wide range of new collections of products to suit your home, hotels, and your organizations. Call them on 0243 200 729 or visit any of their showrooms or depots in all the big malls and other locations near you. Free delivery to your doorstep, and be mindful of internet fraudsters. Be an Ash Foamer now. Ash Foam, feel it, know it. Now, if you are, wondering how to cook and all of that, the MPA is saying that switch to LPG because it's safer, it's healthier, and if you run out of gas, just take your cylinder and go to a nearby exchange point and trade your empty cylinder for a filled one. All of this is happening because of the new cylinder recirculation model. Make the smart switch from firewood and charcoal to gas for a healthier, happier life. This message is brought to you by the NPA and the Ministry of Energy.
Now, let me tell you about your energy-giving, great-tasting Lucozade. It has a new look. So whether you're out and about in the office, in school, or even in Trotro, and you need to restore your energy, look out for the now sleeker, slimmer Lucozade Original 330 ml can with the same energy that you've known for years. So go ahead, grab your Lucozade sleek can and discover the same unbeatable energy with every sip. Lucozade Restore Your Energy is an advert that is FDA approved. And whether you're an SME, startup, large enterprise, or educational institution, Microsoft 365 Education, Business, and Enterprise are the cutting-edge solutions you need to streamline operations and enhance educational capacities. From top-notch email services to dynamic CRM tools and collaborative platforms, we've got you covered. What you have to do is to sign up any MTN Business Microsoft solution and unlock exclusive access to additional services like WebWiz, among others, all at unbeatable prices. It's a complete digital transformation tailor-made for you. So email us at mtnbusiness.gh@mtn.com or WhatsApp or call us at 0244 308 111. It's been 15 years and we have done a lot with Momo. Think back to all those moments. Momo has been there for you. Guess what? We are 15 years old. From the first time you send money to a loved one, to paying your bills effortlessly, or enjoying the peace of mind that comes with secure, safe, and reliable transactions. Amazing 15 years. Look out for market storms and floats near you and win some mind-blowing prizes. Thank you, Ghana, for doing this with us. Download My Momo on App Store or Google Play and just Momo it everywhere you go.
All right, we'll be doing some interviews on the cocoa issue this morning and also bringing some other matters up. Later in the morning, we'll discuss the cost of living crisis and how it's affecting people in the informal sector. We know this already. Indeed, the government acknowledged this when we spoke to the former information minister, now Deputy Manifesto Committee Chair, who says they do know that the top three issues that Ghanaians said was of concern. Cost of living was one of them. Quality of roads was another. I remember that as well. So it's a major issue this morning. We'll deal with that later on the show.
Now, are you satisfied satisfied with the public service delivery you get? Are you aware of any wrongdoing or irregular occurrence in any public institution? As a taxpayer, how can you help the Auditor General hold public institutions accountable? The Auditor General and Ghana Audit Service invite you to engage with them through the Citizen Eye mobile application. Here's what you do. It allows citizens and non-citizens to report suspected cases of poor service delivery at hospitals and other public establishments, mismanagement of public resources, abuse of government property, fraud, wastage, and other irregularities to the Auditor General through the Citizen Eye mobile application. We give you assurance that your identity will be protected always. So reports captured from the app will inform the Auditor General on which areas of public service delivery require urgent attention for corrective action. Download Citizens Eye mobile app on Google Play Store and App Store. Access the application on your browser via www.audit.gov.gh. The Citizens Eye mobile application is powered by the Ghana Audit Service with support from the German Federal Ministry for Economic Cooperation and Development and Swiss State Secretariat for Economic Affairs through GIZ. Citizen Eye, speak up, your silence may hurt us all. And during this rainy season, our children sneeze, they cough, they fall ill just like that. Therefore, we need to give our children and ourselves the protection we deserve. Shield yourself against germs with Dettol soap. When you bath with Dettol soap, it protects you and your family from up to 100 illnesses causing germs, offering you maximum protection. Dettol soap can also be used for hand washing. It's endorsed by the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association, available in all leading supermarkets across the country. Dettol, shield your family from germs.
You know, whilst we talk about Godfrey, the other thing that troubles me is, you know, we are losing so much money beyond the Auditor General's report. You know, this morning on the news, you're told that Public Accounts Committee, 15 teachers cited for spending 188,000, which didn't belong to them. Then there's a story about OMCs not paying monies they are supposed to pay to bust. Then you have different accountants and people in the public service just essentially just pilfering from the state. Now, what troubles me is, of course, they don't get as much coverage because we like the big ticket items. Ghana loses judgment, the traffic grew 134 million. So there's a couple of things. Because the people at the top seem to get away with big financial malfeasance, those in the middle have also advised themselves that they will steal from the state.
Oh, yeah.
And when you speak to chief executives of many state entities, the complaint is, look, they're always dealing with people siphoning money, people who have, people skiving. They don't want to work. That's number one. Number two, they form cabals to steal. Maybe they will have a system where maybe you even make a donation to the group, they will siphon it. Look, you should talk to, and no, this is not just public sector, private sector too. You should talk to like someone who runs a company. Recruitment is now, a lot of it is based on honesty. Because, and you know that you can't even tell.
How do you test it?
You know, people are becoming, and it's a trouble for me because our development efforts will not proceed if you cannot have trusted workforce. A trusted workforce is people who will do honest work and do hard work and quality work. It seems as if people feel like the regular system will not pay me quick enough. So let me cut a deal. And sometimes, if you are not in on the deal, you are the bad guy. And the trouble is that most of these guys, they are regular people you know and admire. Go to church, you know, they are nice guys. They are not bad people in the way we see bad people. Okay, and it troubles me.
You should be troubled, but here's the thing. Most people don't care about this.
You think so?
Oh, look.
Most people don't care that there's so much corruption in the society.
It's funny you brought this thing. Yesterday I was somewhere, and I was observing something with a group. So we're just there, random area, you know, place. I'm standing there with a couple of people, and then two people were having a conversation to my left, and one, the matter of the
GFA,
the
African Games.
It came up yesterday, and they were speaking in the local, one of the local languages. They were speaking Chi, and the guy goes like, "Hey, scanner, irabium," and then one person I didn't heard about it. I was like, "Oh,
Sikaben,
then bium na aba, no zio, just scary." And I said, "They say no one here na you."
Oh, Charlie.
Oh, to it. Is it not the stealing of money?
Yeah, like, and I was saying, and one here na you.
Mami, kind two stories. Let me read two stories for you. Listen to this. This morning, Citi News, right? Abigalata reports. Bust pursues 44 OMCs of unpaid 60 million cedis in levies. The Bulk Energy Storage and Transportation Limited, formerly known as Bust, has revealed that the national security is pursuing directors of 44 oil marketing companies who have absconded with nearly 60 million cedis in levies owed to the organization. These companies collected levies and margins from the sale of petroleum products, but failed to remit the funds to BEST. The CEO of BEST, or BOST, Dr. Edwin Provençal, explained that when petroleum products are purchased, the BEST margin is supposed to be collected by OMCs and remitted to the National Petroleum Authority for onward transmission to BEST. However, these OMCs collected these funds and did not remit them. He further noted that BEST was working to recover the funds. He said that since it was government money, he was sure the directors would be held accountable. Quote, when petroleum products are brought, the BOST margin is to be collected by the people who sell the products, the OMCs, and these OMCs collect the money. And they decide not to remit it to MPA for onward transmission to BOST. And when it goes on for a while, the company is closed down. You can't find the directors. So they set up an oil marketing company. They sell petrol, which inherently includes monies meant for the state. Then they disappear. As we speak, these 44, we are in court with about 26 of them for them to pay the money. And then the rest, the companies are dead. Hopefully, with the power of government, we can raise the veil and go after the directors. We have escalated this to IOCO with some debt. One day we should invite IOCO to talk about the things they are finding. Maybe we should. Because
I have questions for IOCO.
Fine, but let's not divert. The point is,
I'm not diverting.
You see, what I'm trying to say is that, Godfrey, there are a lot of, so like you go to many state agencies where they invite IOCO in, and the things they uncover will shock you. Sometimes they have to even think to national security. Yeah. Let me give you another one. So this is 60 million cedis, 44 companies. Who licensed them? How did they just... So 26 are in court. They can't find the rest.
But is it possible for these people to just abscond without the connivance or abetment of some of the people who are now complaining?
So the word is either connivance, abetment, or dereliction. Yes. You see, there are different words that we need to use. Yeah. So I don't want to
assign...
but for me, you see, governance in Ghana is weak. Somehow, we have not been able to empower institutions to do the work they have to do. There's also a lot of interference because there's corruption even in getting... So, for example, Bernard is the head of a ministry of something. Goffred is his longtime friend. So Goffred brings his cousin's sister to say, Charlie, Aloski, if you do this for me. Now, if Aloski is to be true to the rules, he will say, Goffred, join the queue. But Aloski, being a typical Ghanaian, will say, oh, wait, I say, oh, a minipa. So do it for me. That's where the problem begins. So he's brought in his cousin sister's nephew, who now has an oil marketing company, not because he's met the standard. Yeah. Now, this person then starts having problems. Then you say, oh, Aloski, Charlie, my boy, will make you see inside, give him. So he tells his secretary, Caleb, that, Charlie, when it comes to this boy, sort him out for me. That's how it begins. Yeah. Okay, and other ones, too, somebody can call him from above. But some of it, too, is just incompetence, where the guy doesn't just want to do his job because he's focused on other things. And you see, I always say that a country is not destroyed just because a few big people don't do some big things. A country also gets destroyed because a lot of small people fail to do a lot of many things. Let me read another story for you. Hey. This one is, and this is just today. So I'm not even going far. This is just today.
A lot of stealing.
Okay. This one, PAC goes after 18 teachers. These are people who are teaching our kids for illegally withdrawing 188,000 with fake certificate. Okay. Think about it. These are people who are teaching our children. Ni Aikwe Okan is reporting from Parliament. The Public Accounts Committee has directed the Ghana Education Service to investigate 18 teachers who promoted themselves, look at that, in Amansia Central without recourse to the laws governing the GES. A report from the Amansia Central Education Directorate indicated that the teachers upgraded themselves without the requisite documents and increased their salaries, resulting in financial loss of 188,000 cedis to the state. The Amansia Central District Education Director, Vincent Benamea, said an amount of 34,000 cedis had been recovered. We've been able to collect 34,731, and we are left with 152,000, and we are on course to collect the money. We did not place these teachers. We did not promote them. They did self-upgrading without passing through the office. So it is a backdoor affair. Wow. Why?
There was one story that come attention this week again with the PAC, and PAC is usually very informative with these things. Teachers' admission of chopping 15,000 on earned salary. They said a teacher admitted to spending 15,000 Ghana cedis of an earned salary during his appearance.
Why?
Yes, so a principal, Mr. Emmanuel Sampson, a principal superintendent of the GS in the Goma West District, confessed that he was aware that he had been overpaid, receiving 46,735 cedis instead of the 30,763 cedis he was due for his service between October 2017 and October 2019. Mr. Sampson, who teaches the Kropong number 1 DAGHS, told the committee that he had spent the extra 15,000 Ghana cedis before realizing the overpayment. He acknowledged his obligation to repay the funds and made 2 initial payments. What's with this kind of
So is for me, if we don't make, so there are rules that have to be made. There's technology that can be used, but there's also the software of values. And you see, the leader sets the tone. I don't want to necessarily blame the president, but you see, when grand corruption or wrongdoing is glossed over because of political expediency, you send a signal to people. Because people in the public service will say, Charlie, me too have to sort myself out. If I'm going to follow this government thing, you get it? So there's and it's organized. Yeah. Organized. So if you're not part, it should be worrying for us, because there's no way you're going to be competitive globally if your citizens can be trusted to be honest. You get it? Because you need to know the value of honest work. And I want to urge other forces in society, churches, mosques and things, media. Let's come on board and get, at least, if for nothing at all, let's call wrong and let's call right. At least, let's not, when they bring a story to you, let's not just write it because somebody has brought it. Otherwise, you're going to create a society where our kids cannot differentiate between truth and lies.
Bernard, please, let me share with you 2 notices I've received here. I'll just read it for you and our listeners and just see how you think about this. This is Directorate General of Immigration and Emigration, public notice. The Directorate General of Immigration and Emigration would like to inform that there is an amount of money recovered at Gatuna border on August 2, 2024. And the owner is currently unknown. In case you have lost money on this date and the said place, please approach the DGIE to get your money back. For more information, you can contact us via, and then the telephone number is there. There is another one. Rwanda National Police informs the public that anyone who lost money on Monday, August 19, 2024, in Nyarungenge District, Muhima Sector at Yamaha, that money has been picked up. If it belongs to you, please come and pick it up from the traffic police headquarters at Muhima. The converse is often what we see here, where those who have lost their items will go to radio stations, police stations, will be begging that, oh, my bag was stolen here, this and that. I mean, these are little things that tells you the values that people hold dear, the kind of practices they see. You see, we are not truthful.
You remember the day somebody returned
dishonest.
You remember the day somebody returned 10,000 CDs?
What was news?
And the person even had to meet the president.
Yeah.
Everybody was jumping over the guy because he returned 10,000 CDs.
10,000, yeah.
That didn't belong to him. And I think that honestly, we have to bow our heads in shame for somebody to return 10,000 CDs for it to become national news. Which means that honesty is no longer normal behavior. That's what it means. If 10,000 CDs being returned, he actually got audience with the president. Because the media was all over the guy because somebody left 10,000 CDs in a taxi and he returned it. Honesty is no longer normal behavior. We'll come back to this topic. Let me do a quick interview. So, for the past 3 days, my focus has been on climate-related issues. Drought in the transition to northern zone, excessive rain in the extreme northeast, flooding issues. Now, it appears we are bearing the brunt of climate change. But let me talk to somebody who knows this better. Professor Philip Ncheje, Department of Environmental Science, KNUST, Professor of Climate Change Adaptation and Sustainability Science. Prof, thanks for joining us. Good morning.
Good morning, Bernard, and good morning to your cherished listeners this morning.
So for the past 3 days, we've been having stories in the north. Tuesday, drought in transition and northern zone. Wednesday, Bagre Dam spillage affects farms in Binduri. Today, Thursday, torrential rains, Pamel Boku, ravaged about 20 communities, raised numerous farmlands. In 3 days, we've had 3 very disturbing stories. Are these climate change related, or this is just something else that I'm trying hard to bring climate into?
Yeah, so Bernard, once again, thank you very much for the opportunity to speak to you this morning. Definitely, yes. These are not things that we are used to. These are things that are been occasioned by climate change and climate change related issues. If you recall, there have been a lot of studies that have projected that as a country we'll continue to experience increasing temperatures and then also experience what we call erratic rainfall patterns. What that means is that we are not able to determine when the rains will come, how much of the rains will come, and then when the rain will stop. And this is disturbing. I have seen fields of maize in northern Ghana, Upper East, Upper West, that look like a burnt field. And these are quite disturbing things that we, as a country, we need to take urgent actions to address them. So a short answer to your question is yes, indeed, these are climate change manifestations that we are experiencing now.
Is this something people can prepare for? For example, yesterday in the story, people had their communities overrun, and some of them basically have lost their farmlands. Does more knowledge about the potential effects of climate change help in any way to prevent the effects of this? So, for example, these farmers, could something have been done to prevent them from losing their farms? Could they have moved before? Can you talk to me a bit about the importance of knowledge in climate change mitigation and adaptation?
Yeah, but once again, I need to mention that it is possible for us to prepare people to make them more resilient in the face of climate change. And one of the things I have been involved in terms of research is availability of climate information. If farmers were able to get information with regards to when the rains will come, how much of the rains are coming, then they will be prepared to be better adapt to whatever these kinds of weather brings about. We also need to be aware that, it's part of the fact that climate change continues to wreak havoc on our agro-based livelihoods. If farmers can get timely, and I repeat here, timely and accurate access to climate information, they will be in the position to build adaptive capacity to prepare and then make sure they are not affected in the way that we are experiencing. Therefore, knowledge plays a crucial role if, as a country, we want to adapt to climate change. But let me quickly add that in the past, a lot of effort have also gone into through NGO, through the government, to build capacity through knowledge sharing. But for me, what we are experiencing just tells us that this hasn't been enough. We need to make sure we build capacity of GMET, Ghana Met Services, so that they are able to get us information and disseminate this information in a timely manner so that farmers will be able to adapt in the face.
You have just one.
All right. Thank you very much, Professor Philip Nchweje. We apologize for that. He is the Professor of Climate Change Adaptation and Sustainability Science, Department of Environmental Science, KNUST, explaining to us the effects of climate change adaptation. We'll go into the cocoa subject next. We're going to speak to somebody in the cocoa sector on the dwindling fortunes of our production and the announcement that Cocoa Board will finance purchases for the first time locally. Now, we have a caveat to that because we're saying, is it necessarily because we are tired of 32 years of depending on the international market, or is it because we don't have enough good credit? That's coming up shortly on the Citi Breakfast Show. But the other issue that's up for discussion this morning, too much stealing. Let me read a few comments that will trouble you. So here's somebody who looked at the Public Accounts Committee yesterday. He says, Bernard, look, the Public Accounts Committee treated the teachers with just a smack on the wrist. Yeah. The chairman actually told one of them what he had done was criminal, but treated the whole matter so lightly there was even laughter. Yeah. Right? That's something we should think about. Then The culture of dishonesty, Bernard, is part of the Ghana narrative. Have we noticed we never get called up for refereeing at international tournaments? Have you thought about that? Yeah. And then there's another one somebody who worked with international organizations, Bernard. The issue about honesty is serious. Countries like Japan and Korea have a lot of goodwill from being seen as honest. I've worked with the UN, but the experts doubt we, the Ghanaians, and it's sad. You get it? So it's like they think that the perception of dishonesty is affecting the way people even see us, even international platforms, which is really sad. Because the Ghanaian reputation, so if I go and work for somebody in the UN, they may say, well, you're from Ghana. We're not too sure. That shouldn't be the case. It should be, oh, Ghana, okay, then we know. You get the point? So it looks like the Asians are building that reputation and we are not. All right, so let's go back on the line, and we're still dealing with issues of the agri sector. I'm going to speak to somebody in the cocoa sector. So this morning, we're concerned about the way the story is angled, and we want to be sure we are all on the same page on this cocoa issue. All right, the graphic is reporting, the Times is reporting, for the first time in 32 years, we're buying our cocoa beans locally, whether that's good news or not. We're paying for our cocoa beans with locally generated financing. Obed Owusu Adai is a managing campaigner for EcoCare Ghana and convener of the Civil Society Cocoa Platform. Obed, thanks for joining us. Good morning.
Hi, good morning, Bernard.
Thanks for joining us. So tell me a bit about what you do as the convener of the Civil Society Cocoa Platform.
Great, thank you, Bernard. So the Ghana Civil Society Cocoa Platform is an advocacy platform that is composed of civil society organizations, farmer groups, individuals, and other platforms that work on cocoa in Ghana. We've been around for about 5 years now. We've partnered in the Cocoa Board. We've had meetings with them. We've worked with the EU. Currently, we are implementing a project as a platform in Ghana that is seeking to reorient cocoa farmers to prepare for the incoming EU DR. So the EU has passed a law that will take effect 30th December 2024, which will require that every cocoa that is produced in Ghana needs to demonstrate certain characteristics. It needs to come from a land that has not been deforested, and also it needs to meet the basic in-country legislative requirements. And so we are all stakeholders in Ghana, working with government, civil society, farmers, private sector. We are working to reorient and build the capacity of farmers and other stakeholders to be able to meet this.
So while this EUDR on paper seems like a good thing, that you have to prove that cocoa products will not contribute to deforestation, it's probably going to worsen the outlook for our farmers, because we do know that part of the reason why we are having lower production is illegal mining, which contributes to both deforestation and lower cocoa production. So our cocoa farmers are going to have a very difficult time, in addition to the fact that financing is also getting difficult. The international syndicated loan, they are telling us that for the first time they are going to raise it locally, but I'm sure you know financing conditions are very tough as well. Just talk to me about the outlook for our farmers in the next couple of years, looking at all these issues.
Great. Bernard, so it depends on the angle you look at it from, but purely from a civil society perspective, we are optimistic that if Ghana and if our farmers work together in the coming years, that we should be able to overcome some of the challenges that we are having now. But on the other hand, if I want to be pessimistic, then looking at the current happenings within the sector, then it gives a very, very gloomy picture of the future, in that the average cocoa farmer right now is not motivated to continue being a farmer. Because there is, just as you mentioned, the competition for labor within the cocoa communities, land and other issues with the weather and other issues are mitigating negatively against productivity. So the farmers are not really motivated, especially cocoa farmers. And cocoa has always been the safe crop, because you know that when you plant cocoa and you're able to harvest and dry your beans, you should be able to get ready markets for it. And so everybody was very comfortable. But for the past 2 years, that has not been what is happening. Our farmers go through all the problems, the hassle, and plant the beans. But when it is ready for selling, they find it difficult to sell because sometimes the syndication loan delays and the local license buying companies do not have money to buy. I am a farmer myself. I've been to communities where my farm is in the Hini area, and farmers take their beans to their cocoa shed and then they do them sign down. So you bring your beans, then we mark you and say go home. When money comes, we will pay you. So Bernard, the problem is that one of the major problems within the cocoa space has been financing, and has been getting consistent financing to be able to purchase cocoa beans, and that is a problem. So I listened to the CEO of Cocoa Board. I've also read some of the news paper articles about the news conference that he had and the other follow-up conversations he has had. And for us as civil society, we think the approach they are taking is a good one. We've always advocated for that we cannot overly or continue to depend on syndication to finance the purchasing of cocoa. We need to find a more sustainable, a more profitable way of doing it. So in summary, for us, it is a good and a more forward-thinking approach. But like you, the finance people always say that the devil is in the details. So what exactly will Cocoa Board be doing different from what they did last year? Last year, if you remember, the syndication loan delayed. And so there was this approach that Cocoa Board went to the chocolatiers, the chocolate companies, to take money from them to pre-finance. Is that what they are going to do? Or how are they going to raise these internal funds that they are talking about? They haven't been able to provide the details yet. And like they say, the devil is in the details. So we are waiting for Cocoa Board to come with a plan, with a proper, well-thought-out plan on how they are going to win the cocoa sector off this syndication.
There are two questions that keep coming up. Aging cocoa farmers and aging cocoa trees. Is it really true that young people are not interested in cocoa farming anymore? And how much of a risk is that if most of the people who farm in our cocoa are people who are much older?
Yes, Bernard, and that is a fact. It's true. The average cocoa farmer in Ghana currently is over 50 years. And the average cocoa farm in Ghana right now is over 25 years. And within the cocoa space, cocoa is more productive. The cocoa tree is more productive after around 6 years. So when you plant, within the first 3 years, it's not producing fruit, but after the third year, it starts producing. But it reaches optimum production from year 5 all the way to around year 20 if you take very good care of it. And so if you have a cocoa farm, the average cocoa farm being over 25 years, then that is a problem. And if you have your farmers, the average farmer being over 50 years, that is also a problem. And these problems are there because of other fundamental questions that as a country we've not been able to address. One, when you talk about the aging cocoa trees, one of the problems is that land tenure situation in Ghana, that a farmer, he knows very well that my cocoa farm is getting old, but because of the contractual agreements with landowners, he's not motivated, or he can't even cut the farm or to replant the farm. And we keep maintaining the old farm, which is not producing adequately. And I'm sure you know the numbers. For the past 3 or 4 years, our productivity has been going down. And every time, for the past 2 years, we've not been able to meet our projections that we do. And last year, or this cocoa season, we had wanted to do around a little over 700,000, and we are told that we might not even be able to get 500,000 metric tons. And the coming year, we are projecting to get around 650,000. That is a bit optimistic. Looking at what we've been doing over the past 3 years, when we have been producing below 600,000, we are not sure how they came with their numbers to project to get around 650,000, because we know that there's a lot of things happening on the ground. There are diseases that are attacking the cocoa beans, the swollen shoot viral disease that we know government is working on, especially in the Western North region. They are working on trying to rehabilitate some of those disease farms. But we also know that the weather is changing, the climate is changing, and the weather pattern is affecting productivity. And we have not been able to find a more tangible solution. We know that they attempted piloting cocoa irrigation, but that is purely on piloting basis, and we've not been able to have a more comprehensive long-term plan to deal with the weather. And that is where the EUDR comes in, that in order to create that microclimate for cocoa, let's try to minimize the destruction of our environment. But on the other hand, the galamsey is happening and nobody is doing anything about it, and that is destroying the environment that will create that microclimate for the cocoa to do well. Then on the other hand, the other problem of labor, the farmers getting old. The problem, Bernard, has been that for a very long time, because of the terrible cocoa pricing, the youth have not been very, very motivated to get into cocoa, and I mean agriculture in general, but cocoa especially. There was a study that was done by Solidaridad Network, and they came out with an interesting finding that even for the current cocoa farmers, 9 out of 10 are saying that they will not want their children to do cocoa farming when they grow. And then they interviewed the children of cocoa farmers, and it was even shocking. Almost all the children did not even want to do the cocoa farming. They would prefer to come to the cities to sell dog chains and other things. So there is a problem there attracting the youth into cocoa farming, and there don't seem to be a more comprehensive program that we are rolling out to get the youth motivated and interested in the cocoa space. Probably one of the ways we could do that is if the youth found out that cocoa is more profitable, if the pricing were good, if the incentives and other things are properly done, then probably they will be motivated. But as we speak now, cocoa has become a political commodity, and because of that, the dependency on cocoa is coming down. And I have been to communities in the western and central region where farmers are converting their cocoa beans into rubber, into other land use. And then the almighty galamsey has also come in, where cocoa farmers are giving their lands to galamseyers. There are two scenarios. Some of them, the landowners give the land to the galamseyers, and in some cases, the farmers themselves are giving the lands to the galamseyers to destroy the cocoa farms. And all this, probably we can have a holistic conversation around it, but one of the most important elements that is allowing this to perpetuate or to continue is about financing, it's about cocoa pricing, and that is something that we need to have a conversation around as a country.
So the outlook is actually not as optimistic. Based on everything you've said, if we don't do something drastic about production, about the attractiveness and financing, what cocoa has done for Ghana for the past 67 years may not be so in the next 10 years. This is my conclusion from what you've said so far.
Bernard, you are not wrong. That is the situation. But I did say that I'm also a bit optimistic because I also know that for the past few years, probably a few months, it started this year, the price on international markets is appreciating. And for the first time in a very long time, the 2023-2024 cocoa season, we saw the revision of cocoa price twice within the season. So there was the initial revision that was done in Tepa when the season was about to start, and then there was another revision of the farm gate price in the middle of the season, somewhere I think April this year, and we saw that they actually the price really went up, but they did go up to the level that should have been, and that is also another conversation that we could have. The kind of approach that Ghana takes in marketing cocoa. We do a lot of the forward sales, or we do the future sales. And the future sales basically means that even before you harvest, and before we know how much what quantity we are getting, we have already collateralized that beans, and we've already sold it at a certain futures rate price, which is different from the terminal market price that we could have enjoyed when there was increment. And so that all those challenges are culminating in the problems that we are having in the cocoa sector. So we need to have, and we are waiting to see any of the political parties come up with a more holistic plan to deal with the cocoa sector in their manifestos or in their conversation, a proper policy direction that will really change the cocoa sector. For now, we haven't seen it yet, Bernard.
Thank you very much for talking to us, sir. We've been speaking to Obedo Uswe Adai, managing campaigner for EcoCare Ghana and the convener of the Civil Society Cocoa Platform. So there you have it. The outlook is pretty bleak. We have to do something. Well, we are not doomsday prophets. We're basically letting you see the reality. We have to take action. Otherwise, what cocoa has done for the past 60 years may not be so for the next few. I wanted to add a few points to this.
Bernard, so climate risks weigh on our economic and development outcomes. In the beginning, you were talking about how academics have failed to help people understand the challenges that the climate change conversation is going to pose to us. And I've been looking at the World Bank Group's Country Climate and Development Report with Ghana in focus. This is a report dated 2022. So this was delivered in 2022. No, don't worry. This is saying some very interesting things.
Tell me.
Ghana's economic and human development is vulnerable to climate change and climate-related shocks. Without prompt global and local climate actions, higher temperatures and heat stress will affect crops, which we are seeing, livestock and labor productivity. Now, more erratic rainfall patterns will damage infrastructure and buildings. Local air pollution and congestion will hamper human capital and productivity in cities. Significant damage to human, physical, and natural capital is already materializing. Ghana's growing population faces high risks from floods and droughts, deforestation and land degradation, poor air and water quality, rising heat stress, and depletion of natural resources. Now, between 1968 and 2021, 32 major natural disasters were reported, mostly in the past 2 decades and mostly on account of floods followed by droughts. So you see what we're saying?
Same thing happening.
Flooding
and droughts happening concurrently.
So on average, flooding affects around 45,000 Ghanaians every year.
My God.
And half of Ghana's 550-kilometer coastline is vulnerable to erosion and flooding as a result of high sea level rises.
Very true.
Meanwhile, droughts and dry periods have caused significant agricultural losses over the past decade.
Also very true.
Resulting in food insecurity of famines and lost working days and livelihoods. Under present climate conditions, 13% of the population is estimated to be affected by drought. Particularly in the northern belt, which is what we are seeing. Now, landslide risk is present in about 3.5% of Ghana's territory.
That's not too big.
With the northern part of the Volta region, the Bono and Ashanti regions most affected.
Okay.
Despite less frequent storm surges, tidal events and earthquakes also contributed to disaster
Tidal
tones.
event, if it's not in the eastern coast, it's on the western coast. It seems to vacillate. I think last week there was a big one in the western Shama area. Previously, the Keta area has been having the same challenge.
So now to some money figures, Bernard.
Okay.
Looking forward, rising heat, more frequent and extreme natural disasters and more variable weather patterns will increasingly impact Ghana's economy. This includes both direct impacts such as losses of assets, lives and livelihoods as a result of weather-related events, as well as indirect impact from higher heat and water scarcity on labor and land productivity. While future precipitation patterns are uncertain, pessimistic models predict that the total annual rainfall could decline by 12% by 2050.
Serious?
Yeah,
the total annual
rainfall could decline by 12%
by 2050 when our population is 53 million.
Yes.
Yes,
and so average annual losses from droughts are expected to increase significantly from $95 million in 2020 to more than $325 million.
How old are you?
32.
You see, what worries me is that sometimes some of the people taking decisions today may not be alive then. Yeah. But you will be here. I know, because you grow. 2050 is 25 years from today. So you'll be 50-something. Yeah. By which time, Ghana's population is 53 million.
Yeah. Wow.
And you are having 12% less rainfall. Yeah. If we don't change something drastically about the way we go about governance, we are going to have a very, very bleak future. Because my kids will be adults at that time. And they'll probably be saying, Daddy, your generation didn't do well, crowd. We should think generationally. Keep going. Give me more information.
Good. So let's come to extreme precipitation events.
What are their suggestions?
Okay.
Maybe I want to know what they want us to do.
The conclusions.
Because the thing they are saying is becoming
different.
So what is there any recommendation or any sort of analysis at the end around
there are several
some key things that need to be done immediately, so at least we can sound it out. It's very important.
That's a good point.
Because and I like the World Bank for this. Anything when you go to World Bank events, they take their time.
They provide a lot of.
Sometimes because we disagree with some of the things around the policies they put in place, I think the World Bank as a knowledge institution is fantastic. Look, I've read their reports on the economy, the levels of thoroughness they go through, the multidisciplinary approaches they use. Yeah. If we just read and use this, you know, the information. Look, somebody said to me some time ago that so this is the contrast in the information generated in 2 days in our current world is equal to the information generated between the year 00 and 2000.
Wow.
So the rate of information being generated in our day, you need only 2 days to generate the same amount of information they generated between the year 00 and when Jesus Christ was born. That's how serious this is. Yet, we don't want to use the information. So as you say, the World Bank have done it. Rainfall, climate mitigation issues, all of them are there. But actually, people are not interested.
There are recommendations, immediate priorities, 2 to 3 years.
Give me two. Give me some of the recommendations. What are they saying? What are they saying?
So, given the current binding financial constraints and the time lag before climate impacts will become critical, Ghana should prioritize one, investing in no-regret actions that deliver clear economic benefits while laying the ground for important policies. Let me just jump to them. Improve macro-fiscal fundamentals.
I know that we know.
Including debt sustainability and credit.
We know those ones.
Okay. Strengthening institutional capacity for climate action and legal framework.
Okay.
Begin to unlock private climate finance.
Very important.
That is, improve the business environment for private investment. Example, in green technologies.
Very important.
And 2, anticipate the preparation of bankable projects for intentional climate finance.
Very true.
But you see, that will hinge greatly on averting everybody's mind to climate change, because the second point he makes about financing, then it means that we need to reconstruct our financing realities and how things look like. For example, just basic agricultural projects are not pleasant, quote unquote, to banks. Banks rather put their monies in other things.
Real estate.
That kind of thing. So it means, yes.
Import and export.
Very good. So it means that for that to happen, because people do have the ideas, and setting up greenhouses, we know, are heavy capital-intensive projects.
100%.
They will require the strong backing of financial institutions. So as we think about this, we need to bring them more to the table to understand.
I like what you're saying. Because
this is the world we are in.
Nathan, our financial institutions need to come to the table. They don't, for them, they sit down and wait. When the opportunity comes, they jump in. But I think finance is the fuel for development. And they must, and because of their training, they should engage better with those in the agri space, those in the climate space. They don't just wait. Because, see, you can wait and say, Caleb wants to import 50 containers of rice. Let me give him the money. That's what will bring money. But your job as a finance person also to help us to finance meaningful things that will bring development and sustain your industry. It's not happening. Give me more recommendations.
Bernard, we must integrate agriculture development, forest and water management. 1. Develop enabling policies and incentive packages for CSA, integrated water management, reduce deforestation. Number 2, we need to clarify tree tenure and rights of landholders to strengthen role of communities in forest management. Establish sound landscape governance structures for setting of common resource management goals that are understood and endorsed across sector. Let me come down. Some of the solutions we've been talking about them. So create the conditions for resilient cities and infrastructure.
Can you repeat?
Create the conditions for resilient cities and infrastructure. So what that means is we need to prepare city-specific risk analysis and integrate risk data into land use plans, building codes, and city-wide infrastructure plans. Let me try and explain this. So every city has specific risk factors. So we need to prepare city-specific risk analysis and integrate that data into the land use plans. So if you go to a place like, say, down the hill of February, those who are down that hill, their risk factors to flooding will be different from those who are close to the shore, the
Very
coast.
important.
And those who are there to those who are around Dansoman in Shona will be exposed to a different risk factor.
100%.
So what are the risk preparations? What's your analysis? What data do you have? And how are you preparing for city-specific, risks like that? And then you need to develop and enforce urban plans to reduce urban sprawl and introduce zoning of flood risk areas. And then prepare and implement climate-informed design criteria for urban infrastructure and new residential constructions.
Wow.
Some of these include basic habits, right? Like urban gardening. Do you understand?
Waste disposal.
Thank you. Waste disposal and how we build, basically.
Sunday, I was on the motorway, Caleb. People were cutting down trees, ostensibly because they wanted to expand the motorway. Now, I don't know who.
All the cabbage is cleared, right?
Not the cabbage, the trees. So when you're coming, they were chopping down the trees with reckless abandon. Possibly because they want to build the road. I don't know whether they could have done anything about it. But anyway, let's read some comments from the public as we move to our next subject for the day. Don't forget, we are doing two things. Climate, cocoa in one discussion.
Honesty.
People are stealing too much. People are stealing too much.
My friend says we should also pay people well in this country. They might stop stealing.
Is there a relationship between poor pay and theft? So are you saying that countries that don't steal, they pay them well?
Yeah, if a person is satisfied, the person's incentive to cheat might be lower.
That may be true, but so are you saying that the poorest countries have the most thieves?
Try and see.
Well, man, if you are comfortable, I mean, what are you looking for?
I think that, you see,
that balance, that balance is important.
Something can be true.
Yes.
So are Rwandans richer than Ghanaians?
Generally,
not necessarily. Their per capita income is because they are small countries.
No, it's what you can do with it in your country. Yeah. It's what a Rwandan can do with his or her resources in their country.
Why what you are saying?
I'm just saying. My friend said it. My friend B.
No, it's not right. You see, immediately
he's also called Godfrey.
Immediately people start saying this. Pay people well, so they stop stealing.
They said if you pay people well, it might.
But there are rich people who steal more than poor people.
Yes.
Some of the people who are stealing our resources, are they poor?
It says pay people well.
We are talking about values of. You don't know. No. Stop it. People who are stealing, are they? No. What are you talking about?
No, but then honest pay is part of the honesty conversation.
You can say something which is true.
Yes.
But the time you say it obfuscates the matter.
I agree with you.
Because the people we put in, the people who steal Ghana's resources, they are not poor people.
They are not poor people.
Those is greed. It's greed.
So it's greed. It's not.
Too much.
I'm not saying don't pay people
those
well.
ones, you need institutions to work.
If no, but the sister companies who are not paid, the 44 companies, those who own those OMCs, are they poor people?
No, those are cycles.
And they've taken 60 million. The teachers who stole, look at the relativity.
5,000.
18 teachers took 180,000. All right. 40 companies have taken 60 million.
60 million.
And these 40 companies are not run by poor people.
It's true.
So the honesty conversation, when you make it a money issue, it makes like people be greedy. People be greedy.
Honest.
No, let's not do that. Read comments for me.
Okay.
Let's do both. Let's do both.
No.
Let me read messages.
Let's do both, Bernard.
He from Tema.
Let's
read
pay people well
Point is
think.
made.
Let's let people well think.
Point is made.
So you are not being paid well. So you steal your company's resources.
No, that's not.
What
proper.
are you saying?
That's not proper. Yeah.
No, let's not use radio time to say such.
Well, Bernard, let's not tempt people. You know.
Let's not. What do you mean? Let's not tempt people.
If you have vulnerable people, economic vulnerability exposes people
Caleb,
to all kinds of things.
I completely reject what you are saying because you see, everybody has a reason to want more.
It's true.
You must be satisfied with what you have.
Or
You
look
can
for
also
legitimate
change your
means.
employer
Okay.
or get extra source of income.
That's true.
But don't steal and then come on air and say to me that let's pay people well.
I'm not justifying.
We are justifying it.
No, I'm not justifying.
Then withdraw it.
Okay, let me clarify.
No, withdraw.
Let me clarify.
You can't clarify
Let me
this.
clarify.
You can't clarify this.
You know, this thing has come up before, where international organizations will recruit Ghanaians and tell them, "Oh, we want to offer this person $2,000." Then the Ghanaian HR will say, "Oh, wait, man, no 2,000 cedis."
Yeah, but that's
there is that one.
Caleb, no.
You
see,
know,
we are,
there is that.
So is that the reason why the people are stealing the things we already are
I'm
stealing?
not saying that, but I'm saying that rent a month is
Look, people are stealing and using extra money to. No, Charlie.
Bernard, I think we are both right. So let's go.
No, but he's
Let me read it. So,
no, stop it.
Paulina Crunchy.
Yeah, I know Paulina.
Yeah, Paulina tweets and says, in 2019, my colleagues and I published a paper on how the media reports climate change in Ghana. One of our findings was that the media reportage on climate change centers politicians rather than experts in climate change. The only time the media reports on climate issues is usually when the conversation is led by politicians, and this must stop. Even when experts speak at the same event, the politicians always make the front pages. That's very true.
But isn't it important to have then the politicians, if they are the ones who are always leading the conversation, to be also knowledgeable in the climate change thing? Because then, Bernard said,
I think what Paulina is saying, what Paulina is saying is true. You see, this morning, I was interviewing. Yesterday, I was discussing flooding.
Flooding. He spoke to Professor
Fred calls Professor Canton to explain the issue. Then he calls Amos Rutherford. True. Now, I can call a politician and ask him. So I call Tanko Bagbara. What are you doing about it? Yeah. But I don't start by saying, let me call Tanko and say, or Brani Champo and say, you see, because if you don't establish the basic rules of the issue, your interview with the politician will be wrong. So she's right. Today, we call a professor from KNUST to explain the issue. Then you call a duty bearer. That's how you do it. What most media people do is that once the issue comes, no politician. Or you bring NDC and people to come and sit here and say, let's discuss the stories for today. You think that if they are discussing, they'll say, oh, why not we empower? We didn't have
climate change. It was ready in Ghana.
So the media has to be serious and say, look, this torrential rain, we are not saying politicians are not part of. But you can't start a show where you have.
That's why the experts
you get
are
it's not right. So bring the experts.
I like this message from Steve in Moscow. Says recently I analyzed research data on flooding issues in the White Water Basin and discovered a significant gap in communication about climate change and weather conditions among stakeholders, particularly within local communities. The data revealed that local communities are often excluded from the development of early warning systems because authorities consider the process to be purely technical. A colleague of mine in Germany is currently researching this issue, and I hope that her findings and expertise will be put into practice to address this communication gap and avert future consequences. What's his name again? Steve in
Moscow.
If I can have your email, I'll be very happy to get in touch with you and your colleague in Germany about this.
So what's he saying? Can you repeat that?
No, just basically, there's a significant gap in communication between stakeholders and local communities. So this is the start of our conversation.
Wonderful.
How the people at the bottom also get informed and educated about these things, because our conversation was premised on the fact that all these conversations seem to happen at the top and nobody at the bottom seems to know it.
Wonderful.
All right,
well, let's go for more.
Okay. Jones says, good morning, Bernard. We are just not serious. Combination of issues affecting us in various forms and shapes. So with all the engineers, we can't find a solution. We can't find a solution to these problems. We are always firefighting. Ed in our classes, guys, the farmers are experts. What they need is irrigation and climate resilient seeds at scale to make their work sustainable.
Yesterday, our resource person said this.
Educating them on climate change is not a problem because the farmers are already fully aware of the changes. Our government failed to work, and that is a challenge. In fact, but Ed, I will give you pushback a bit before last year, there was significant research work done, and it was discovered that the farmers had actually started struggling with identifying the changes in the wind patterns. They could no longer follow it.
Yes, yes. So you see, this is the way it works. You can walk and chew gum. So the fact that we need to do this or that does not mean they don't need to be informed. Because when the Ghanaian Times guy went, they said they don't want to move to higher ground. You get it? So sometimes you need to use the information to get them to act, in addition to the irrigation and then the drought resilient issues.
On corruption.
Let's talk about corruption.
Neil from Tema says, good morning, guys. The biggest problem in Ghana is we don't punish wrongdoing and it's gradually crippling all our sectors. Our future is dark. I visited Ghana last year for the first time in 8 years after living in the US. I was harassed at the airport and had to part with $100 because I didn't have CDs on me. I was scammed at a filling station on the Kiseman Road. The Forex Bureau near Hacho. Though not a good experience, it toughened me. I invested in a few businesses in Ghana. I ended up losing mine. I have advised myself to keep my investment in the stock markets here, which is the best option for me. Honesty is no longer a word in the Ghanaian dictionary. This is the 4 a.m. man, gym man in North Carolina. So I'll have to come and visit you all of these days. So we'll go to the gym together.
So his routine is when we are around 9.
Yeah, he's at the gym.
And he's listening to our ranting. I need to say something quickly about that. You see, there's a lot of what they call non-performing loans in our banking system, which I also think is a problem with our behavior as people.
Don't pay back.
See, people go for loan from MTN. They don't want to pay.
Yes.
You see, again, we cannot use poverty as an excuse. You see, a company has given you credit. The terms are not that bad. Then you change you say, oh, somebody said I should send him money.
But don't send it
to my number because when you send it, MTN will take it. But you owe MTN, pay. You see the thing at the top. People say they're smart. And this is, you see, people think they are wise. That's why it's also, credit is expensive, partly because of that. Because the bank is also saying, Charlie, the guys are too risky. Ghanaians don't want to be responsible financially. It's also part of the issue. I know that the banks have to change their development orientation, right? And I know that the interest rate issue is not just because of dishonesty, because the government crowds out private sector, the cost of funds is high. I understand that. But people have to be more honest. Own up for what you owe people. If you owe somebody, pay. If you can't pay, tell the person I owe. Stop this idea of, don't pay the money into my account. Pay it here. Bring me cash because I have to pay MTN. People should stop that thing. It's very, very bad.
Okay. And then, Bernard, I have a colleague in the oil marketing business. Charlie, the money, the guy, they chop.
Look at that.
Good morning, Bernard. There's a general culture of pilfering in our society. In the public service, it is like a virus. This is in contrast to the culture in Japan, for instance. There's just no hope. I also, final one on my WhatsApp says, beyond the platform, it's also about how the politicians' opinions and spin are positioned relative to the expert views, especially when the expert views are discordant with government narratives. I think that's an important point of reflection for the media on this and many other issues. Platforming both views with little or no editorial comment on what's most salient is problematic, but this unfortunately seems to be the norm.
So can you read this again?
It says, beyond the platforming, it's also about how the politicians' opinions and spin are positioned relative to the expert views.
True.
Especially when the expert views are discordant with government narratives. I think that's an important point of reflection for the media on this and many other issues. Platforming both views with little or no editorial comment on what's most salient is problematic. But this unfortunately seems to be the norm, especially in the local language media.
See, for example, today, let me give you an example. So, and I'm not trying to take on Cocoa Board necessarily. The spin on the Cocoa Board story for me was not necessarily what the truth is.
Yes.
So when
it is not the truth.
So when Nathan took the newspaper review, he said, okay, cool. He now goes to the meat of the story, which is, so the story has the fact too. But the headline gives it a different twist. That the real issue is that loans are too expensive, so you are forced to go. Okay, and I think that editorial role, the media should not leave it out. Okay, we shouldn't allow people to twist stories for convenience. Let's put the truth out, because it's the truth that will set us free. So is it the same Paulina or somebody else?
No, there's somebody else.
Yes, I like this.
There's somebody else. That's our friend Anakofi. And then, I'm done with the messages.
Thank you for
If I can wrap up with a birthday message, if you don't mind.
I have a few too.
Mrs. Comfort, Araba Johnson, on the occasion of her 70th birthday, from her children, Audrey, Ada, Pollyann, Frances, Martina, and James, along with the rest of the family, wish
Mhm.
her a happy birthday.
Mhm.
God continue to use her life as a testimony, and may today usher in the very best yet. We love and cherish you always.
Here's a message I thought I want you to bring to you. It says, Bernard,
yes,
please stress on banks coming to the support of the business community. The banks have refused to take risk, especially with IT companies. We can't access financing from the banks. I'll tell you something. I was at an event with people in one industry. It's a commodities industry.
Yes.
And they said the banks are not helping them. All the banks do is import credit. You are going to bring in imports, we'll give it to you. Or you are doing they don't support agric in a very meaningful way. And I'm saying to the banks, banking must be a reflection of the real economy. Fine, it's not a responsibility to de-risk certain sectors. The government must come into de-risk sectors. There's GESAL. GESAL has come in to provide guarantee for lending to agric. The banks must play ball. Because if we don't finance our own food, if we don't finance our own clothing and our own survival, there will be nothing else to depend on. It's easy for you to say, let me finance imports because that's what makes me money. But the finance function is critical for economic development.
Yeah.
And I think our banks collectively are failing us. They have to take a strong look at themselves and say, no, we will hold the hands of these agric people and help them through. Because you listen to Nana Rice on Friday. I'll play back his interview yesterday. It's tough to do agric in Ghana.
But isn't it also born out of the fact that our banking space, if you look at the ratio indigenous to foreign, it's might be that situation would have been easier to push through even at a state level if the weight was on the side of the local banks.
That's true. The foreign banks are stronger and bigger.
Yes.
But there are but there are some big local banks.
I understand.
There's
I'm just
GCB,
saying.
there's CBG, two government,
I'm
there's
just
ADB.
saying. Let's look at Nigeria, for example. Let's reverse this to Nigeria.
Yeah.
Okay. The banks there are 80 or 90. In fact, you will struggle as a foreign bank. In fact, I don't think there are foreign banks present in Nigeria. So funding for these things most often than not falls on these banks, and they tend to do a good job on it.
I agree with you.
I just commonsensically.
Let's end this segment. Thank you, Godfrey. Thank you, Nathan. We'll be right back with more. Caleb has a very big interview coming up with people who did a report on cost of living, and he's going to speak to some informal sector workers about their own experiences with that. So you see, we are bringing researchers into the studio.
You've done well. I've seen Dr. Usu Bwampo, senior research fellow.
But Clement says I should tell you that you and Caleb should get out with the thing you are saying about.
Which Clement is this? Our own Clement.
Yes, lawyer. I said you should stop that nonsense.
Oh. Habeas papum.
It's a kpabulu. It's a kpalumo your pulem.
Tell him habeas papum.
It's a kpalumo your pulem. 21 minutes past 9, Citi Breakfast Show. What is luck? For many, luck is the glorious moment where you find money in your trousers right when you're broke. For others, it's being picked out of a crowd for a reward. But luck is coming with prices so exciting that will make your head spin. Dial *712#. Get your ticket. The more you buy, the better your chance of winning. Remember, when you hear that catchy jingle, it's your cue to pay attention, and it could be your lucky day. So watch out for that jingle and get ready to dial *712# to get lucky. The luckiest luck is everywhere. Eden Heights is a great place to live, work, and invest. A well-planned and secured gated community with access to ultra-modern facilities like sports complex, Olympic-sized swimming pool, football court, basketball, athletics, gym, the rest of them. Eden Heights has available 2, 3, 4 bedroom apartments, penthouses with the highest grade finishing for rental and for sale. So we are located behind the West Hill Mall, Wager Accra. Call 0501-531-444 or 0501-531-445. Eden Heights, the height of modern living. Big games are coming up this weekend. The Premier League is back, and step into it with Showmax. Catch all 380 games on your phone. No matter where you are, your favorite teams are just a tap away. For only 55 cedis, sign up to the Premier League mobile plan on showmax.com. Create your account, download the Showmax app on your phone, and you're good to go. Showmax, it's your stadium on the move. Who is Man U playing this week?
Brighton.
Charlie. Then you meet Liverpool.
Yeah, next weekend. No, we'll fine. We'll survive it.
This is in the Nathan. I like your
No, I'm just saying we'll survive, win or lose.
You are not
leave
you are not as pessimistic as you were under the Norwegian.
Well,
the Norwegian guy just almost got you. Or you resigned.
Oh no.
You've not resigned.
No, not at all. I always said that I thank God for this work.
It has helped you know many things.
Oh yeah, because what it will do, it numbs a large part of the emotion. Yeah, the emotion is there. I'm not saying it kills it.
It just
numbs it. So now you tend to look at things a bit more rationally, and you can deal with the episodes.
I like it. Let's approach other issues more rationally.
But yeah, anyway, look, it's 9:24.
Yes.
Right? You want breakfast, right?
Sure.
You want something. Maybe you have bread or biscuit. You want an accompaniment. Twisco is what you need. It's from the good people of Cowbell, so you are sure that it's a wonderful drink. Start your day with a cup of the great tasting Twisco and power your dream. Latex Foam is saying that come to their showroom and see the wide range of mattresses and furniture they have. Don't go for a shortcut and worry yourself inadvertently. Go to Latex Foam because they are your partners for life. And the Breeze Ride app is here. You can get affordable rides and very, very cheap delivery services. They also have a personal shopper in their app. Download it and you will get great help on where to shop, where to go, and all of that, and even where to get stuff to eat. Avoid the stress and traffic. Let the personal shopper do everything for you on the Breeze app. Download the Breeze app from the App Store, the Play Store, and try it now.
So much more to talk about. When we come back, there's a very interesting report we discussed previously, which looks at the cost of living crisis and its effect on informal sector people. Luckily for us, the researcher is in studio.
Wonderful.
But he's come with some of the people affected. It will give us some very important insights into how people survive in our urban areas. Stay tuned for that with more of your comments as well. This is the Citi Breakfast Show. Don't go away.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Hi, Mom, it's me, Kwame.
Hey, Kwame. How are you?
Mom, I'm fine, oh.
Okay.
You know something?
No, tell me.
I'm looking for a complete furniture set for my new place.
Kwame, I've told you before, the only one place you should go, eh?
Yeah, Mom, but I need a mattress to fit my bed.
Ash Foam.
I need a bed to fit my room.
Ash Foam.
What about a sofa where go relax my body?
Ash Foam.
Wardrobes to fit all my clothes?
Ash Foam.
What about linens and pillows for sweet dreams?
Kwame. Ash Foam.
Mommy, I feel you. Ash Foam all the way.
For mattresses to beds, sofas, wardrobes, linens, pillows, and more, don't waste time and visit any Ash Foam showroom across the country or call our hotline at 0243 200 729. Ash Foam. Feel it, know it.
Since inception, almost 100% of Ashesi University students have found jobs, started businesses, or gone on to graduate school within 6 months of graduation. From Accra to Nairobi, London to New York, Ashesi graduates are noticed and are leading successful careers. If you dream of a rewarding life and career, an Ashesi education prepares you just for that. Learn more about applying to Ashesi at ashesi.edu.gh. Remember, admission is ongoing.
From the comforting hugs and reconnecting moments to the thoughtful eulogies, funerals, whether big or small, must be dignifying. And that's what Lashibi Funeral Homes and Crematorium was set up for. From our state-of-the-art facilities for preserving remains, through our 450-seater chapel to our meticulously managed cemetery, we've got these and everything else you might need in one place. So if sending a loved one off in a dignified manner matters to you, reach out to Lashibi Funeral Homes and Crematorium immediately you lose a loved one. Call us on 050-953-2409 or visit us at lashibifuneralhomes.com. Lashibi Funeral Homes and Crematorium. Dignity for the deceased, comfort for the bereaved.
Hey, so what goes into building quality structures? I mean, literally, what goes into it? Wujaf, you don't want to be sitting here somewhere worrying whether or not you did a really good job. It'd be very simple equation. If there's no diamond cement in the mix, massa, forget it. Don't start cry. Menye, diamond cement has been providing builders, block makers, and construction companies that peace of mind for years. Diamond cement is 42.5 R grade cement. Unbeatable quality made right here in Ghana. And because we have your pocket in mind, we provide 32.5 R grade so that everybody getting on. No long talk, Jack. If there's no diamond cement in the mix, don't start. Locate Diamond Cement Ghana Limited nationwide with factories in Aflao, Takrade, and Buipe, or call 0244-313-368 or 0540-111-978 or 0202-021-175. Diamond Cement, still as hard as a diamond.
Are you ready for the Serene experience? Join us at Volta Serene Hotel from the 20th to the 23rd of September.
It's the ultimate Founders Month celebration in partnership with TravelX.
Whether you are coming as an individual, a couple, or with family, we've got the perfect package for you. Enjoy 2 nights at just 2,800 Ghana cedis, or 3 nights at just 3,500 for individuals.
Couples, grab your 2-night stay for 4,000 Ghana cedis, or 3 nights for 5,095 Ghana cedis.
And families, indulge in 2 nights for 6,500 Ghana cedis, or 3 nights for 8,500 Ghana cedis. Kick off with a happy hour. Explore 3 destinations. Enjoy live band music, outdoor games, movies, karaoke night, and poolside fun.
Don't miss out on the Serene experience. For more information, call 054 139 867 036 202 8805 036 202 5243 or 020-503-8763.
Visit voltaserenehotel.com for terms and conditions.
The Serene experience. Make memories that last a lifetime.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Yeah, Florani, yeah.
Isakaba, he calls this one Accra Kantamatu.
In a big city.
Yeah, Accra Kantamatu. We'll get into the informal sector and have a very important conversation. Where goes research on the cost of living crisis and how it's impacting workers in the informal sector. As Bernard told you, we have a researcher in the studio and 2 of the informal sector workers, one a waste picker, the other a street vendor. We'll get into that conversation shortly. However, if you and your loved ones are dreaming of an escape, a holiday to Dubai and Nairobi, think of Copan Hospitalities. They are providing you all that you need from 20th to the 27th of December for a cool $1,650. The package includes your visa, accommodation, tour activities, airline tickets, and Copan travel card, which offers you discounts at partner hotels, eateries, insurance, and fashion outlets. Don't miss out on this chance to close this year with memories to last a lifetime. Get in touch with us on all our social media platforms at Copan Hospitality. Copan Hospitality is spelled Koppan and hospitality. Call Copan Hospitality at 0262 349 888 or 0556 965 924. Copan Hospitality, tourism at its best.
Save your son.
And the maiden ACI Ghana Financial Markets Conference themed Navigating the Future, Innovation, Ethical Excellence and Inclusion in Ghana's Financial Markets is coming on. It's an event that will gather more than 500 participants and it's an unmissable opportunity for networking and learning. Starting on Thursday, August 22, 2024 at the Grand Arena Accra International Conference Center. The time is 9 a.m. The conference will cover crucial topics such as ethics in financial markets, investment opportunities in Ghana, fintech and financial inclusion. Keynote address will be delivered by the Bank of Ghana with key insights from other top regulators. For more information, here's the number 0243 054 891 or 0244 583 725. Visit www.financialmarketsconference.aci-ghana.com. Our social media handles ACI Ghana.
Yoga.
Sponsors are GCB Bank, Regulus Investments, Consolidated Bank Ghana Limited, Lurus Africa, FinCap Securities Limited, Service Securities Limited, ContiCap, Obsidian, Acna, and Symphony. Don't miss out. Register now.
Me start from shoe shine. Me mate my tom phones are fence on and both fruits alongside yogurt. But all these things taxi driver me a load from Choco. Well,
34 after 9. Let's get into the cost of living crisis and how it's impacting workers, brothers and sisters in the informal sector. Now, when you talk to those who are in the formal sector, they tell you it's not easy at all. Is it any easier for those who are in the informal sector? Well, Dr. Owusu Buampong is a senior research fellow with UCC. Doc, good morning to you.
Good morning, my brother.
And welcome to the studio. It's good to have you.
Thank you.
Good. Josephine Dugbate, right?
Yes, please.
Good morning, Josephine.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
By His grace, and you?
Excellent. I'm well. So what do you do?
I do sell by the street.
So you're a street vendor.
Yes, please.
Which part of Accra do you ply your trade?
Abokobi.
You're at Abokobi.
Yes,
this is Ghana East.
Ghana East.
Okay, excellent. What do you deal in?
Fish.
Oh,
I sell fish, smoked fish.
Dry smoked fish.
Yes, please.
Like the Kosombo one.
Yes, please.
I like it in light soup. Okay, and then we have Confidence Womano.
Yeah.
Okay, what do you do?
I'm a waste picker from Bone Waste Landfill.
Oh, you deal with the landfill proper.
Yes.
And you pick waste over there.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me come to Doc and find out why the interest in how the cost of living crisis is impacting our brothers and sisters in the informal sector. Why the interest?
Yeah. Thank you very much, my brother. Very often when we are talking about economic issues, the focus largely has been on the macro discussions. Talk about inflation. Now talking about debt restructuring.
Yes.
Ukraine and Russia or COVID-19. But the critical question that we fail to ask, how are these economic shocks affecting the lives and livelihoods of the informal actors or informal sector workers who are largely denied or do not have access to what we call work-related safety nets and security.
Right.
And unlike the formal sector act, as you just said, when there is crisis, you very often get what we call cost of living or the allowance. Wages are increased, through agitation by labor. But then the question is, what happens to the informal actors who are very often overlooked in the conversation? So our interest is largely to understand how the cost of living crisis is impacting the lives and livelihoods of the informal actors who are largely, we call them at the bottom of the pyramid. They are highly vulnerable, and also to bring to the fore for policy actors, or those who have the authority to take decisions and act on those issues, and so that we can ensure that they get a decent standard of living. Yes.
Let me come to Josephine. For those of us in the formal sector, often when we meet, it's about the fact that our earnings are not enough. Our salary is not enough. Some people also complain about their leave days. It's not enough and all of that. Do you have leave days? Do you have pension? And tell me about your life, basically.
Thank you very much for your question. It's not easy, as you said, but I'll take this opportunity and just express myself and tell the whole world, the whole Ghanaian, that it's not really easy selling out there, being a street vendor, not knowing or knowing what you really want, but you just go out there making sure that you really want to earn something for the housekeeping. But at the end of the day, it's not be easy. You just work, and at the end of the day, a day you end up earning 100 cedis, which might not be enough for the day or housekeeping money.
So your profit in a day after you've sold all that you've sold, on a good day, how much do you make?
Oh, at times I can make up to 300 cedis.
300 cedis
Yes.
for yourself?
Yes.
A day?
A day.
On a good day?
On a good day.
But how many days in a week are you able to make 300 cedis? And how much work do you have to do to make that 300 cedis?
Oh, it's not that often to get that 300 cedis, but now the system is very hard. You work and work and work before getting even 50 cedis at times. Because now the fish that I deal in, the premix, the food that they used to go on fishing is very expensive. So they don't get it that easy.
Right.
So we getting the fish from them too, it's not that simple.
Yeah.
It costs. So that means you are going to work, beg people, you reduce it, even if they have to buy, it's not up to your expectation.
Right.
So we end up running at a loss.
Because they ask for it as well.
Yes, please. So it's not be easy, but the same money we borrowed it's a loan. It's loan that we'll be using for our work. You will live and bread with the same money you have to pay for where you get that money from.
So in the event you fall sick,
yes.
Do you have insurance? What happens? How do you take care of your hospital bills?
It's not easy, but the health insurance at times is good, but most of the time we fear. About 2 weeks ago, I fell sick and I went to the hospital, and realizing that I have health insurance, I end up spending about 300 cedis.
Even with the health insurance?
Even with the health insurance. So it's most of the time it scares us that we have to attend to hospital for our well-being and all that.
But the work you do too is very manual.
Yes.
You are working all the time.
Yes, please.
Wow. Do you have first aid? Do you carry first aid along? What are some of your hacks?
No, not really. We end up buying from pharmacies or counter-buy medicines to support our daily lives.
What's your background educationally? You speak so well.
I'm a product of Hotcast. Holy Trinity Cathedral.
Hotcast?
Yes, please.
Nice. That's good. Good to know. Confidence. You are a waste picker and you deal with the landfill site at Pong. Give us an idea of how your day looks like as a waste picker.
Yeah, as a waste picker, we work on landfill. We went there to pick recyclable materials and sell it for our middlemen. And the middlemen will also send it to companies for recycling. And we also help promote production in Ghana here. But henceforth, we are not recognized. People even call us scavengers. And we want the government to recognize us and know that we are brilliant.
We'll get to the government part, right? Yeah. But we want you to walk us through your day, the challenges and the joys.
Okay.
What makes you enjoy doing your work as a waste picker or not?
Of late, we enjoy the work, but for now we are many, so we are not enjoying the work at all. We are about 700 people working on the landfill. The youth are about let's say out of 100, the youth about 70%, and the old age 60, 50.
Oh, there are older people who pick waste.
Yes.
On the landfill side.
Yes, we have
including
older
women.
People. Yes, women, both women and men. We all work on the landfill. Daily basis. Of late, I earn 100 cedis daily, but now because of the cost of living, people are coming more there to work, so we are not getting as much as possible. We get.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you paid based on the tonnage of recyclable things you're able to pick? Or give me an idea how you pick?
Yes, when you pick let's say the plastic or the metals, you have to send it. You have to go and weigh it on the scale.
Okay.
After weighing it, then they will calculate it by the amount that they buy it per kilo.
Are you a scrap dealer?
No, a waste picker.
You're a waste picker.
Yes, please.
So what are you picking? What are you looking when you climb the landfill side? What are you looking out for?
I'm looking out for rubbers and metals.
Okay.
I sort it. After I sort it, I have to send it out and sell before getting my pocket.
Do you have protective clothing like Wellington boots, gloves, nose mask, overall coats and things like that?
Yes, of course. Because we are an association, you can't climb there without wearing your safety because you have to be in safety precaution all the time.
Okay.
For example, you have to get your bulletin boot, nose mask, helmet, reflectors before you can work there.
Okay.
And always, we make sure you wear your masks and be dressed properly before.
So your PPEs must always be
yes,
in place. Right. You mentioned that you earn 100 cedis a day.
Yeah.
Right. And you have siblings.
That was then.
When? How long ago?
Like 4 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's like 2020.
Yeah.
Is it the same you earn now?
No.
It's gone up.
Yeah, no, now it has reduced.
Oh.
Because we are many. Of late, we have been getting like 100 cedis, but now because we are many, the number increased, and the land first is too small for us to work on.
Okay.
So we maybe now I've been getting like somewhere 60 cedis, 50 cedis daily.
Wow. How many hours do you work a day?
I work, let's say, I would say 6 hours.
6 hours a day
Yes.
for 60 cedis.
Yes.
Can I maybe on the street vendor? I think she mentioned 300 Ghana cedis a day.
Yeah.
But I think you have to also be very cautious because
the value of the money, right?
She's also talking about the capital.
Right.
Because when they sell, you have the capital and then the income. So you have to take out the capital.
Yes.
So it might not be the 300 cedis that she's actually referring to.
Wow.
And with confidence, I think he mentioned that they kind of wear PPEs. They have very strong mechanism for enforcing that their colleagues are wearing the PPE. This is because they have a very strong association. Right.
Yeah.
And also talking about competition. Okay, post-COVID, what we've realized that because there's high rate of unemployment, you have a lot of young men and women also trooping to the sites, and they see they struggle. Okay, for the same quantities of recyclables.
Yeah.
So it's leading to competition.
So there's competition, which has reduced their income.
Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly on the site.
Wow.
Yeah.
So if you earn 60 cedis now a day, you have dependents. You told me about your siblings you take care of.
Yeah.
60 cedis, how do you do it? And where do you live? Who pays your rent? How do you feed?
Yes. Sometimes I have to go and borrow money from the one that I sold my goods to, so that I can go and solve my problem. So that means I do. How do I put it? After I sell it, that means that I have not been saving anything.
Yeah.
Hand to mouth.
Yeah.
Hand to mouth. After I pick it, I sell it. Then I have to divide the money, send some for my parents and my siblings, and also keep maybe myself for myself. Maybe I will just keep like 20 cedis.
Where do you live?
I live in.
What kind of structure do you live in?
I live in kiosk.
Are you renting?
Yes, please.
How much rent do you pay?
I pay 100 cedis monthly.
Every month?
Every month.
100 cedis?
Yes.
What do you eat? How much do you spend on what you eat?
I eat once daily.
You eat once a day?
Yeah, I eat once daily.
Every day you eat once?
Every day, once. Because I don't. If the 20 cedis, if I want to spend it all in food, that means I won't save anything. So I have to keep 10 cedis and manage 10 cedis. Sometimes I even go to the women's and credit food for them when I get.
Oh, you go to the Bobora.
Yes.
And you tell her Davina Bobo Choma.
Yeah. Then later on they are paid.
So typically, what do you eat? Which is once a day?
Banku.
Yeah.
Because banku and beans are solid.
Yeah.
So that's all I
drink
do.
water, sir.
Yeah.
I think it was also very obvious in our study that those who are doing the heavy, lifting,
they eat a lot of,
and then the kaya is, they eat the heavy food, right? Yeah. And very often, because they have a declined income, they cannot even afford to buy the protein.
Yeah.
Yes. So there were stories where, especially the kaya is that if because the food vendors know them. Okay. They know that they will not buy meat, for instance.
So once they see it, they just package their kinky.
Yes, they don't even sell to them. So even
if you're not buying protein, they are not selling to you?
They are not selling to you.
Oh, how?
It's common everywhere.
Is it?
Yes.
So these are the challenges in terms of the food insecurity that they are facing as a result of the cost of living crisis. Yeah.
Now, the other time during the rainy season, I think this is sometime June, I wanted to see how those who sleep rough get by at night. So we drove to the CBD, this is where Cocoa Board is, and CMB at night around 1 a.m. And I was shocked to see market women sleeping in the open, because according to them, they have to go there, sleep in the open, so that when the trucks come from the hinterland, they get a good buy. How do you get your fish? Do you have to go through that experience?
Yes, most of the time, it's not really about we staying there because of the cargo car, but because of cost of living and the lorry fare. Down the lorry fare has been increased any other time.
Yeah.
So we can't bear it. We don't have the money going home and coming each and every day. So we have to stay there for maybe the whole week. During the weekdays, then the weekend we go home.
Oh, so when you go to the market,
yes,
you sleep
Yes.
in the market.
Yes.
You find a mosquito net,
Yeah.
find some stones, hang it, sleep in there.
Yes.
On the floor.
Yes.
Then you go home during the weekends.
Yeah, so that is a new coping mechanism that is emerging as a result of the cost of living
cost of
crisis. So somebody is a food vendor, maybe he lives in some, and because of the high cost of transportation, they will prefer to sleep maybe at Makola from Monday to Friday, so that they can make some savings from transportation, and then over the weekend they go back. Previously, we thought it was only the Kayayis, who were sleeping on the streets, but even
market women,
yes, the
mothers,
street vendors,
grandmothers.
yes.
Now, we say that the informal sector is larger than the formal sector.
Yeah.
And from your research, what percentage of the people in the informal sector are living below the minimum wage and living in these kind of terms that we are painting?
That is another difficulty in terms of coming out with the data. Okay. But we know that in Accra, for instance, if you take 10 people, 8 are working in the informal sector.
Out of 10 people, 8 are working in the informal sector.
Yes. And their incomes are highly irregular. You understand? So for the waste picker, it depends on how much recyclables that he can get in a day.
Right.
So it's very difficult to tell. But again, our research show we use the cost of living income,
right,
to kind of estimate those that we interview, whether or not they are above or below. And all those that we interviewed, they were earning way below the living income. Yeah.
Now there is talk about roping the informal sector into our tax net, because some also think that a lot of the informal workers make so much money that we don't get to tax and all. Let me take your views on that, from the quality of life you're living and the kind of money you make. Talks about, when you hear talks about getting the informal sector to be a part of the tax net, what goes through your mind? Do you understand my question, Confidence?
Yeah. Said, if they are saying that we are getting more money in the informal sector, it's never true, because we are not getting anything from. Let's say today today I went to work and I get 50 cedis. How much am I going to save? How much am I spending? I can't compare myself to someone who is working, someone who is in the formal sector. Maybe he will get allowance from somewhere, but for me, I won't get that. What I do is just go out, hustle, struggle, fight for what I eat. Well, henceforth, I can't go to background. They should give me a loan. They will give me. I won't get it. Yeah.
Because you don't have collateral. You don't have landed property.
Anything
like that. Wow. Doc, just to pick your thoughts on the widening.
Taxation, the tax I wish maybe Josephine will speak to that. But let me say, we are not against government expanding the tax nets, because we all need revenue to be able to grow our country or develop our country. But we have to be very cautious. Already they are paying taxes.
Indirectly.
Yes, they are. So every day you pay a toll, right?
Yes, please.
How much do you pay in a day?
At times, it depends. Most of the time, they don't come with even one or a percentage that this is what you are supposed to pay. Each and every day, what we pay is different.
And this is at the market?
Yes, or even by the street.
Oh yeah,
yes, we pay tax. They give us tickets.
Oh, those coupons
yes.
you get tickets. Right?
Then land guards Abaye.
Okay.
Before the municipal assembly thing.
Wow.
They also come for this.
Wow.
And if maybe I'm tired and I have to sit here for a while, I have to pay.
Wow.
And it doesn't depend on whatever it's like now that if I should offload the things on or where I wanted to sell, they will just look at the things and just say anything, any amount I thought I should pay. If I can, then I have to go. I'm also tired, so I have to pay. Maybe 100 cedis, 1.5. If not, then I have to get off.
Wow.
Yes.
So what she's saying, you realize that even if you do a critical look, she might be even paying more
than necessary.
More than necessary. So largely, there's been this conversation that the taxes that they are paying is more regressive. It's unfair to them. Okay, but for me, if you are talking about widening the tax net to cover the informal actor, I think we need to do a serious research. Okay, it should be evidence based. It should not be out of emotions or out because government wants to raise more revenue. We should have a serious research to understand what they're already paying.
I get it. Beyond confidence and Josephine, we do know that there are those who are, business people, like proper business people who make some high-end kind of thing. But that conversation is different. Now we are talking about people who are like at the lowest end of the bracket. So let me ask Confidence to tell me what you wanted to say earlier. So how can the state help you? What can we do as a country that will make the system more friendly for you, so that while you work hard and not engage in any vices, you can make decent earnings?
Wow. Okay. What we want to do is, because our number, we have large number at our website, we have decided to move to the town and start doorstep collection.
Okay.
So we have started doing something like that, and also we want to be well recognized. They should come to us, speak to us. They shouldn't go and be saying a lot of things that are not true about that. Sometimes people even say we are sending sickness to the town, we are doing this and this and that, which is very bad. And so we want the government to help us, because we have started doorstep.
So you want to do door to door?
Door to door.
Are you going with
even in the
Aboboya
system
or
with
you're
Aboboya?
You're going with your Aboboya?
Yeah. We are even in the system. We have a cooperative well registered that we are about to start door to door service.
I think I saw your notice when organized labor was fighting against the Senate sale. You guys issued your statement and said you were against it. I remember I saw that.
Yeah. So we want government, in case they want to close the dam site, they should inform us.
Okay.
They shouldn't be there and then because they shouldn't be there and then they close it. Like I said, we'll be there and they'll tell that today we are closing dam site. No.
That happens often?
It happened to us. Okay. That was in 2019 during the COVID. And look at over 700 people working on the landfill, both youth and old age. And they just come and they say they have closed the place because the place got burned. They closed the place without giving us any job. So where are we going to? And who is going to feed us? So due to that, and we realized that if we want to depend on the landfill side, it will affect us. So we have come together, and God being so good, we have an organization called We Go, who come and train us on how to go about door-to-door service. And so now we have Greenways Cooperative Society Limited, who is ready now. I'm also part of it, and the same time as the association. So we work on the landfill at the same time, also go to the Bone community to pick waste.
Okay.
Yeah.
My final question to you will be how do people see you socially in terms of socialization? Is there any stigma attached to the work you do? Do you have friends? Do you have female friends you hang out with? How do people generally treat you because of the work you do?
Very, very bad. People see we those that work on the landfill side as animals, right? Those who pick waste around, they see us as animals. They don't treat us well. So if I could remember, there was a time I got hurt, I won. So I went to hospital because of the way the thing happened, I can't go home and change myself before rushing to the. So they rushed me to the hospital. Instead of the nurse to take care of it, they said I'm smelling, so I should go back. Sure. Sometimes when you want to join car from the landfill side to the town, if people in Toronto, they don't want you to come closer to them because they think once you are working there, you are not a human, you are smelling and this and that. So don't. Meanwhile, after we work, we dress up properly and go. But because we join car at the junction, people don't want us to join car with them. Sometimes you stop the taxi driver, they won't pick you. They will not pick you. And the hospital too, they don't see us as we are women. When you go there, they just tell you, master, sit here. They are treating us as if we are not part of women.
So you must be embraced. Society must embrace you and treat you with dignity and respect.
Yes, and
very
also
important.
we want the government to know that waste pickers are playing a essential role in Ghana. For instance, these recyclable companies, when we don't if we don't supply recyclable materials to them, they can't. Production cannot go on.
That's true. Because
when I pick from the landfill, I send it to the middleman. The middleman will also send it to the company.
Confidence.
And that thing also helped them to employ the youth to do more in the to also get job for themselves.
I get you. I'll give Doug the final word on this one. What should we do differently to help our brothers and sisters in the informal sector?
Yes,
just
so
30 seconds.
I think just like Citi FM is doing, we appreciate what you've been doing for us in terms of highlighting the challenges that the informal actors are facing. I think you talk about recognition. They want to be recognized by the government with the waste pickers and possibly given contract to be able to do doorstep collection so that they can move away from the dump site and the landfill site. They also talk about engaging, that the policymakers should be engaging them very often to know their needs and how they can go about fixing them.
Right. Doc, I thank you. Dr. Osu Buampo is a Senior Research Fellow, UCC. Confidence Woman is a waste picker. And then Josephine, you heard earlier, Josephine Tukbat is a street vendor at Aboko B. And how Idrisu Mustafa is in the studio with the news at 10. Good morning, Howard.
Good morning, Caleb. Coming up, Ghana Civil Society Cocoa Platform expresses concern about the future of the cocoa sector. And Chief Executive of the Kolebu Teaching